with the transcriptions and voice notes which I have canvassed with my colleagues to do so on or before the 6th of July.
The DA is accusing National Assembly Speaker Thoko Didiza of being partial to the ANC by not opposing President Cyril Ramaphosa's attempts to interdict the work of Parliament's Impeachment Committee. Other opposition parties have criticised Didiza's decision to rather abide by a court ruling. DA parliamentary leader George Mikalakis says Didiza should instead be defending Parliament's constitutional processes. In an affidavit filed with the court yesterday, Didiza said she also was allowing the committee the space to deal with the matter as it sees fit after its chairperson, Magashule Gana, filed an opposing application. Ramaphosa is facing impeachment over the $580,000 stored and then stolen from his farm. Lindsay Dentlinger reports.
In her explanatory affidavit, Speaker Thoko Didiza says the National Assembly bears profound constitutional ability to ensure effective mechanisms are in place to hold executive power to meaningful scrutiny and accountability. She says the National Assembly is compelled to act promptly in the case of impeachment proceedings unless a court directs otherwise. But the DA's parliamentary leader, George Mikalakis, believes the impeachment committee lacks legal standing and that Didiza should be backing up its decision to oppose the application.
She cannot leave this to the impeachment committee. She is the representative of Parliament in all legal matters, and it creates the impression that the Speaker puts the ANC above Parliament.
Mikalakis believes Didiza's actions suggest a reluctance to challenge her own party, thereby weakening and undermining public confidence in the institution. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
And authorities in Qatar are investigating the cause of a huge explosion at a gas hub that killed 13 people and injured 66 others. Qatar's Energy Minister Saad Al-Khawabi says Sunday's blast was an accident and not sabotage or hostile in nature. Al-Khawabi says the victims hold Indian and Pakistani nationalities and those receiving medical treatment are not in life-threatening condition. The blast took place at a unit supplying gas to local firms and echoed across the capital, Doha. Gold is trading at $4,184.04 an ounce. The rand is at 16.39 to the dollar, 21.71 to the pound, 18.74 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $78.02 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N3 North between the Earlands Interchange and Van Buren Road due to roadworks. There's also queuing traffic reported on the Mark 1 North. This is due to peak time delays. This is between Boysons Road and Carr Street.
And in your sport, Lionel Messi scores twice to be the World Cup's all-time leading goal scorer. He's on 18 goals in total as Argentina beat Austria 2-0. Close behind Messi, Mbappe, who scored twice to send France to the knockouts with Norway. Live on the go, Algeria 1-0 down to Jordan at half-time.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng, Johannesburg and Vereeniging both starting at 5 degrees, peaking at 17, Pretoria 6 and 20. The top story in EWN this hour, the police's political killings task team will assist with an investigation into the murder of 4 political party activists during the voter registration weekend.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
On Sunday, 26 July, 7:02 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk unites us all in the iconic Joburg CBD.
7:02
Walk the Talk. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Eight minutes after 6 o'clock. Welcome to 702 Breakfast on this Tuesday, the 23rd of June, the year of our Lord 2026. Welcome to the program wherever you are listening to us from. I'm not alone, of course, as always. There's an entire team of producers that have put the show together for you. And on our menu today, we start in the UK. Just 24 hours ago, the speculation was Keir Starmer would be resigning as the Prime Minister of Britain before the day was out. Well, that all turned out to be true. Professor Richard Calland is going to be speaking to us from the UK, I understand. And there's a personal connection. I think they're friends, or at least they've known each other for some time. What went wrong with this mild-mannered politician who won a landslide, the biggest victory by Labour since 1935, just shy of 2 years ago? Why is he out? Why is the UK about to get its 7th leader in 10 years? Even former Prime Minister Tony Blair says a country that takes itself seriously just doesn't do that. Our big interview is with the police. They've set aside, listen to this, 600 million rand to deal with the 30th of June. Is that a date with destiny? Will it be high noon?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
And then I'm so pleased to tell you, I'm as pleased as punch to tell you that just before 9 o'clock, the great Zakes Bantwini will be here. I haven't interviewed him on the radio live since I think 2017. I'd just come back to 702 and I was hosting the afternoon drive, and he and I had a bit of a chat. So I'm looking forward to catching up with him. He'll be here to tell us about the Scatterlings Music Festival coming up in Johannesburg soon.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
It's 10 after 6. As always, of course, my colleagues Muteo and Amo are in the studio. Good morning to you too.
Morning, Bongs.
Very good morning, Bongani.
So I've got a question for you, and it is our shout out this morning. And unlike the usual scenario, I won't keep you in suspense for too long. I'm going to tell you just in a minute or so as to why I'm asking this question. But I want to know, have you ever had to fight for your career? But it doesn't have to be your career. It could be something else, but something that's important to you, a relationship, a friendship, a marriage. But certainly I'm curious about the career stories where you felt vindicated, but it was all on the line and you had to fight for it and you had to prove your worth. What was that moment for you and what was the fight?
I think early on for me, it was doing business news. I was at a youth station, which really wouldn't carry that sort of news. And I consistently wrote business news until the editor was like, look, I don't think we can accommodate the type of news that you want to do here. You're more than happy to go try somewhere else. And I'm backing you. Look, I see what you want to do, but I don't think it's going to happen here. We talk about all sorts of things like celebrity news and stuff like that. So the stuff that you want to do.
You didn't even want a celebrity money angle.
No, I tried to do things like that, but it was just like,
nah.
I see what you want to do. Rather go and give it a proper shot. And yeah, I think I was thankful I did that and that I was backed to do it.
And I mean, you could have given up. You could have just gone with the flow.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't be here.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, you would see. Amo?
The company was shedding some of the departments for whatever reason. I can't remember what was really happening, but I remember then being called into the office and being told that, listen, thank you, but your services, we are good. And I said, I've got 2 children. I just remember saying, I've got 2 children and tears running down my eyes. And then the boss then looked at me and said, but what must I do with your kids? And I just said, I've got 2 children to provide for. And I know that whatever gap there is in this company, I can certainly fill and I can do my best to ensure that nothing falls apart.
You stood your ground.
I just stood my ground. I said, I'm
All right.
going nowhere.
I'm not going. And I am
I'm hungry.
telling you. Well, I want to know that moment in your life where you fought for something, you stood your ground, and you were vindicated. It could be a relationship. It could be a marriage. It could even be a friendship. But certainly if it's to do with your career or a business, I'd love to hear those comeback fight stories. And I'll tell you why coming up.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
The police's political killings task team will assist an investigation into the murder of 4 political party activists. This all happened over the voter registration weekend. Just this last weekend, a DA candidate was shot in Cape Town, an ANC councillor in the Eastern Cape, and 2 MK party members were attacked in Gauteng. It's a real worry, and it's one of those things that in an election year where the stakes are so very, very high, we just need to nip in the bud, and I can assure you it will be part of my discussion with the police in about an hour or so.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702. Let's walk the
13
talk.
after 6. Mateo Haripe, you've got a question of your own?
Yeah, I want to know this morning from you and the 702 landers, what's that one thing that's made you say this year, not in this economy? So money has been tight and you're like, look, I would have loved to do that project, but I'd have to put it off until I feel more flush.
Overseas travel.
She just
Overseas travel?
cut my heart.
Yeah, no, not happening. I had a whole conversation with my kids last year, and we thought it could be Brazil. We thought it could be Thailand.
Yeah.
I've done Brazil, but I haven't done Thailand. So we had a toss between doing destinations that none of us have done, or that at least I have done, so I could, be a little bit more comfortable. And the global economy, Trump, Iran, Strait of Hormuz said no.
All the things you're saying, I'm just hearing the coins fall out.
Said
of
no,
my
no.
Bongani's talking about international travel. For me, it's been local travel. I mean, when
no
it's
holidays
school,
at all,
Listen, when it's school holidays, my kids almost know that, we might be going to
somewhere.
MP, we might be going to Northwest. This year it hasn't.
No short lifts.
No, there hasn't been short lifts, nothing.
I'll tell you why I'm asking.
Oh my gosh.
702.
Weather.
This weather report brought to you by Subaru. From school runs in the rain to roads less traveled, Subaru keeps your journey moving whatever the weather. It's 6:15, and what conditions can you expect? Well, a partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. Temperatures peaking slightly warmer in Johannesburg and Vereeniging 17 degrees. Pretoria is 20, so that's welcome. A cloudy day for Cape Town, a high of 17 degrees there. Mahikeng maxes at 20, Gqeberha 23, is London, and Durban 26.
Some mornings, the world feels uncertain. The sky turns, the road changes, and then there's that feeling. The quiet grip of the road beneath you, the calm in every turn. It's not just how it drives, it's how it takes care of you and the people you love. And somewhere between the first drop of rain and the road ahead, you realize you've fallen in love. Subaru carries you through life's weather. Fall in love with Subaru's all-weather confidence. Book a test drive on subaru.co.za.
EWN Traffic.
16 after 6, let's get straight to it. Amo, how are the roads looking at this hour?
Well, Bongani, we've got the usual delays at this time of the morning. The delays on the N3 North due to roadworks between the Yelands Interchange and Van Buren Road, as well as on the Mark 1 North. This is between Boysons Road and Carr Street, also due to peak time delays there. Then if you are traveling towards Four Ways, do expect a bit of a hold up along the N1 North approaching Malibongwe Drive. I'm seeing an accident scene there, so please be on the lookout and try to avoid. We'll have more updates, but if you come across anything else, we're on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
You are not dreaming. You are repeating. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
Johannesburg Water advises residents of planned maintenance by bulk supplier Rand Water from 29th May to 2nd June and again on the 17th July as part of its annual winter maintenance program. During these periods, Johannesburg water systems may experience low water pressure or no supply. Residents are urged to store water in advance and avoid last-minute storage, which can strain the system. Affected areas include Sandton, Midrand, Randburg, Rudaport, Soweto, Lenasia, Orange Farm and surrounding suburbs. Updates will be shared via Johannesburg Water and City of Johannesburg platforms. Brought to you by Johannesburg Water.
Head to Dis-Chem for the ultimate savings this winter. Look out for the yellow label to shop Better Rewards brands in-store and online. Swipe your Better Rewards card to save 99 Rand on the Huggies size 1 to 5 extra care nappies. Now only 170 Rand and 9 cents per pack. Plus save 60 Rand on the Johnson 6-pack of extra sensitive or gentle all-over baby wipes. Now only 102 Rand 68. Offers valid until 12 July at Dis-Chem. Better health starts here.
It's your last chance to enter Nedbank Business Ignite on 702. The entries are closing soon. So this year, we're celebrating entrepreneurs who've turned a personal challenge into a business that makes a real difference. You can catch it every morning on 702 Breakfast. Meet the finalists, hear their inspiring stories. Go to igniteyourbusiness.co.za or primemediaplus.com to enter. 200,000 Rand is up for grabs. The recognition your business deserves. What more could you ask? See money differently. Nedbank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
702.
Add your voice.
Have your say.
Let's walk the talk.
Good morning, Bongani and team. Mine in this economy has been upgrading. Like upgrading the TV, upgrading the couch, anything that needs an upgrade. The cell phone, anything just on the hold. Upgrading the car, anything. Upgrading here is a no-no in this economy. It's Paul here from Pretoria.
All right, Mateo is asking the question, what have had you put aside? What have you had to put aside in this economy? You had big plans and the money just says nah.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
Oh man, a giant of the music industry has taken his final bow. Legendary executive Clive Davis has died at the age of 94. He's widely regarded as one of the most influential figures in rock and pop music. He helped shape the careers of some of the biggest names in the industry. I'm talking Aretha Franklin, Dionne Warwick, Bruce Springsteen, Janis Joplin, Billy Joel, Barry Manilow, and of course, he gave us the fantastic Whitney Houston. Clive Davis was the head of Arista Records for many years. He started his career at Columbia Records, but it was really at Arista where he shone. And in the year 2000, he was probably at that point having the biggest year of his career. This song by Santana had just come back on the charts. Well, Santana had just come back on the charts, and this was the biggest event musically. Whitney Houston had recorded her first studio album in 8 years, and he was on top of his game. And then, what did the executives at Arista say? They wanted to fire him. It was an extraordinary moment. I want you to listen to this episode of the Trapital podcast, where the host, Dan Runcie, sat down with Clive Davis to talk about his career and that moment.
I'll always be wounded. In the case of Arista, the year 2000, I had just brought Santana back. I had done a comeback sort of album with Whitney. I was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I was feeling great. As I got a phone call from the two people who were running Bertelsmann, which owned Arista, would I have dinner with them? And we sat down, and they said, Bertelsmann has a rule that when you're 60, you've got to either retire or consult.
And they fired him because he was 68 at the time. And of course, it made headlines. I think there was an uproar and there was a bit of a backlash. And the guy who owned the company that owned Arista came from Germany and offered him a joint venture. And they said, look, let's start your own separate thing. Clearly, we can't lose you. You can no longer be at Arista. That we accept. But let's start something entirely new. And he walked away from the business and the record company he had founded. And he had some conditions, of course, on how he was going to do this. But one of the things that he wanted to do was to bring back all his executives, his team that he'd worked with at Arista. He wanted to be able to hire and fire. And this is what happened next in the tale?
I would say the biggest career achievement in my memory. I offered 18 executives, and all 18 came with me. As we started J Records, I signed Luther Vandross, I signed Busta Rhymes, and we exploded with Alicia. Those 2 years went by, and Arista did not have a hit. And Bertelsmann came to me because now the joint venture was worth more than what I was getting paid, which is why they did this. And they say, we're firing everybody in Arista. You will now have Arista, J, RCA, Jive. And 2 years later, they gave me the entire music business. So,
right? Vindication. And his final word of wisdom will be this.
yeah, there's vindication, there's resilience. So a message to your audience, if that happens to you, just reach deep down, fight back.
So I want to know, what is that thing you have fought for and have been vindicated? Is it a relationship? Is it a marriage? Is it a career? The other story that, of course, we think you need to know about this morning, fresh allegations emerging against the political fixer Oupa Brown Mokgotsi, with claims that he and his wife tried to influence a key witness whilst he was in custody ahead of his renewed bail application yesterday. Mokgotsi was back at the Joburg Magistrates Court seeking bail on what his team described as new facts after his first application was dismissed on the 4th of June. Zinedine Zidane celebrates his 53rd birthday today. Born on this day in 1972, Zidane began his football journey at just 14 years old before going on to enjoy one of the greatest careers in the sport. You'll know, of course, he captained the French national team for more than a decade, starred for Juventus and Real Madrid, and he famously inspired France to victory at the 1998 FIFA World Cup, scoring twice in the final to help his country lift its first ever World Cup trophy. But there was also that headbutt moment in the 2006 World Cup final, and perhaps that's what people remember him more for now than his sterling career on the football pitch. What's that moment, that sporting moment you will never forget? Usain Bolt shattering records? Siya Kolisi becoming the first black captain to lift the Rugby World Cup? Or is it Francois Pienaar in 1995 with Madiba at his side? Bafana Bafana in 1996. Which is that sport moment that lives in your head rent-free? A damning new report by the United Nations paints a grim picture of life in Myanmar, revealing that the country's military has been responsible for the deaths of more than 700 civilians during the 6 months leading to last year's election. We'll get more on this in the World View. And Alan Greenspan, the long-time former chair of the Federal Reserve, who became known as the Oracle and the Maestro for his influence over the U.S. economy, has died at the age of 100 from complications related to Parkinson's disease.
702.
The newspapers.
26 after 6, Swiss Zulu.
Good
What's
morning.
grabbing your attention in the newspapers?
Bongani, quite a sad story out of Qatar this morning. At least 13 people have been killed and 66 others injured after an explosion at Qatar's largest gas facility. The city's main liquefied natural gas processing site apparently suffered a technical accident in Ras Laffan, which is an industrial zone. And this accident happened on Sunday night. And the Interior Ministry says the city skyline turned orange because of the explosion. And the Energy Minister says the explosion would not affect the country's exports, and he says that it was an accident and not sabotage or hostile in nature. And those who have been injured are basically receiving treatment and they are not in critical condition.
Gosh, I mean, with all the tensions in that part of the world, I suppose the relief is that it was an accident, as you say. The front page of the Business Day, KZN and Gauteng to be June 30 flashpoints. March and March and others continue to prepare for action against illegal immigrants. The front page of the Sowetan, High cost of June 30. It's got a picture of the acting police minister, Firoz Kachalia, but also members of March and March during a protest in Umlazi in Durban yesterday. And boy, oh boy, do they look menacing. You have to get the front page of the Sowetan just to see that image. And the Citizen leading with Izuma out of money, but also Keir Starmer and his wife Victoria. Goodbye, number 10.
EWN Business.
So wants to know the one thing that you've said no to in this economy. It was part of your plans, was part of your ambitions, part of your goals, but you had to put it off because money is just too tight to mention. As Simply Red told us in the 80s. What prompts the question?
Bongani, the country's largest bank by assets, Standard Bank, saw shares down yesterday by 2% after the lender had a subdued market update. In a trading statement, Standard Bank confirmed that its overall earnings growth trajectory during the 5 months moderated relative to the 12% recorded in the first quarter of the year. Domestically, the bank benefited from structural reform momentum and improved fiscal trajectory and resilient terms of trade, which are credit ratings agencies are recognizing this. However, local inflation risks prompted the South African Reserve Bank to lift the repo rate by 25 basis points to 7% in May, and the lender says that has hit its home loan business. Standard Bank's finance director Arno Dahnke says the group would rather see interest rates to be cut to boost the economy and bring back consumer confidence. The financial services provider says its home loans business has slowed over the first half of the year. Earnings growth from the 12% recorded in the first quarter. Home loan bonds portfolio has slowed to a single-digit level, meaning less people are buying those new properties. The bank says the mortgage market is also quite competitive at the moment, with pricing particularly competitive. So with those higher interest rates, many are thinking twice about buying new assets like properties.
Yeah, ne? Gosh. High interest rates, everything else changing our plans. Where's the rand?
Rand at this hour, 16 Rand 41 against the US dollar, 18 Rand 74 against the euro, 21 Rand 72 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $4,144 an ounce, or platinum is down 2% at $1,641. Brent crude at $77 a barrel. More business after 7.
Time now for your latest Eyewitness News. Up next, we look at the departure of Keir Starmer from number 10. In the meantime, Sfiso Zulu, what you got?
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. The IEC has seen a continued trend of more women than men on the voters' roll during its first registration drive for the upcoming November polls. The Commission has so far registered at least 28.8 million voters across the country. Citizens can still register to vote online ahead of the 4th of November elections. IEC CEO Simon Mabulo.
Female voters account for 1.6 million transactions, representing 57% of total activity, while male voters account for 1.2 million or 43% of total registration activity.
Meanwhile, there are concerns that South Africa could face its most contentious local government elections since 1996 if authorities don't curb political violence. A series of recent killings have been reported involving political figures in some parts of the country over the voter registration weekend drive. The IEC has vowed that safety measures will be bolstered as campaigning season ramps up. Ntutuzelo Nene reports.
Political analyst Andre Duvenacher says the violence poses a serious threat to political stability and could undermine the credibility of the elections. He says maintaining law and order rests primarily with the South African Police Service.
And we know what is the state of affairs when it comes to the South African Police Service. Indeed, a very, very challenging environment. My prediction is higher levels of instability and less free and fair elections.
Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
Evidence of alleged drug dealing has been revealed at the Matlanga Commission in a case involving Medicare 24 CEO Mike van Wyk. Van Wyk is accused of having ties to alleged crime boss Vusmuzi Kat Matlala. Matlala is the owner of Medicare 24 Tshwane, a company entangled in a controversial multi-million rand SAPS contract. Evidence leaders yesterday went through messages between Van Wyk and Matlala, exchanging videos of bricks of cocaine being weighed. Van Wyk could not testify, saying he was suffering from severe panic attacks. His lawyer, Sandy du Plessis, says he will respond through a supplementary affidavit.
Now, I've listened carefully to the proceedings made notes, and the list of inferences would just make it a lot easier to respond comprehensively, to do so together with the transcriptions and voice notes which I have canvassed with my colleagues, to do so on or before the 6th of July.
And 2 children have been found dead in a car in France in what authorities believe are casualties of a heat wave. The youngsters, aged 2 and 4, were found in their family car yesterday in a residential parking lot in the southern town of Carpentras. Emergency services say they found the children in cardiac arrest after receiving a call in the afternoon. They also tended to the children's mother, who has not yet been questioned. The latest heat wave to hit Europe has seen outdoor events cancelled, transport disrupted, schools shut, and office workers told to work from home as authorities issue health alerts to protect the elderly and vulnerable. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures are at lows of 5 and 6 degrees, peaking at highs between 17 and 20.
Traffic is heavily backed up on several roads this morning, especially if you are leaving the south of Joburg, particularly Eldorado Park, Devlin, Diepkloof, as well as Randburg. This is due to misty conditions along the route. So please do slow down and ensure that your visibility is not reduced.
The top story this hour, the IEC says it has seen a continued trend of more women than men on the voters' roll.
What's so exciting for me about this year's event is that we're going back to a place I know so well. I just haven't been there for so long. I'm so excited about going to that precinct around the CBD, the life, the people, the history that is there. All of that is what makes me so excited about this year's Walk the Talk. You should take part in this year's Walk the Talk because it's a coming together of the 702 family of a community. If you like that feeling of being part of something, of watching your children being a part of something bigger than you. That's what the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk is all about. This year I'm going to walk the full 15 Ks. I want to see as much of the inner city of Joburg as I can. I want to walk it in a way I've never walked it before, and that's important for me. To enter 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, go to primemediaplus.com. It's very simple. We'll see you there. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. We're going to have a great time.
When the people of Joburg unite for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, and on Sunday, the 26th of July, your safety will be our priority. So we'll be working closely with the South African Police Service, the JMPD, private security teams, emergency services, city wardens, and other key stakeholders. There's a complete and comprehensive safety plan in place every step of the way. Of course, there's the safe park and ride at the start at Ellis Park, thanks to the Gautrain and PRASA. So do come along with us and walk the iconic inner city by entering on primemediaplus.com now.
That's Thabo before he got naked. When Thabo's car broke down, he did what every manly man does best. Hit things, fiddle, and hope it works. So Thabo got naked. He got comprehensive car insurance in seconds and can now call roadside assistance anytime on the Naked app. Tools down, Thabo. Cover your car and home now at naked.insure and see how easy insurance can be when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
AI, global markets, and trillion-dollar companies. The headlines move fast, but what do they really mean for investors and everyday South Africans? Well, tomorrow you can catch 702 Drive with John Pullman. They'll be in conversation with 91, unpacking the trends shaping markets, investments, and the future of the global economy. Discover what's driving today's biggest investment conversations. 702 Drive with John Pullman in conversation with 91 tomorrow on 702.
Breaking news. Motorists are bracing themselves for even more fuel price hikes in June.
Or prepare differently. BYD hybrid vehicles use up to 70% less fuel than normal cars. And BYD fully electric vehicles, no fuel at all. Test drive the brand new BYD Atto 2 DMI plug-in hybrid this June and kiss rising fuel prices goodbye forever. Visit byd.coza or your nearest dealership. BYD, build your dreams.
Coming up in the next hour, what's the question? And it's brought to you by Outsurance. 3,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs. You need to send us an answer based on something you heard on the show that piqued your interest. For that, you win 1,000 Rand. WhatsApp us your name and the answer to 072 702 1702. Later, someone else will ask a question to win 2,000 Rand. Now, you always stand a better chance of being selected if you have SMS'd out to Outsurance to 45142. So do it now, and you could save on your car insurance.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bongani and team. Lowell and you from Reha Park. A sporting memory that will be forever etched in the back of my mind. It will be when Filmer Singer scored the goal that took South Africa to the World Cup, France 98. In that Clive Parker celebration with his open arms, simulating an aeroplane. That will be forever be in my mind.
Morning, 702's Janice here from Rudolph. The thing that I remember and I will never forget is that Cricket World Cup where Lance Klusener and Alan Donald ran into each other and we lost to Australia. I remember kicking the door. I was so cross, and my mother saying to me, I don't know why you're getting so upset. It's just a game. And all I could say to my mother was, it's not just a game.
Hey, Bongani and team. Without a doubt, it's the 4-3-5 game, Proteas against Australia. My dad walked out the house. I was still a young kid at the time, but my dad walked out the house and he was going in circles around the garden. And I had to call him back in to say, we're going to win this. We're going to win this. And did we not get it? Oh, jeepers. What a cricket game. Probably the best ODI of all time, I think. There's been a few high scores since, but yeah, that's the best one. Cheers.
And my eyes are just welling up as I'm thinking about all those, right? We're talking about those sporting memories that live in your head rent-free. It is the 53rd birthday of Zinedine Zidane today, and who can forget that headbutt moment? Tony Gregg did say that 4-3-5 at the Wanderers was the best or the greatest ODI of all time. Whether it remains so all these years later might be debatable. And of course, who can forget 99 and Lance Klusener? And yes, I remember Clive Barker and his Boeing celebration, the arms stretched out. We were going to France.
EWN Sport.
438, as Cindy corrects me. Didn't the Aussies get 4-3-5 and then we hit a boundary?
It's called 4-3-8
because it's the winning score. All right. Listen, there are often debates about the greatest of all time, but I think Lionel Messi has now created daylight and distance between himself and everybody else.
Okay, so if you missed it last night, let's bring you up to speed. Lionel Messi has now broken the record, another record in his illustrious career. He's now the World Cup's all-time leading goal scorer. He scored both Argentina's goals last night in a 2-0 win over Austria, which takes him a total of 18, to ahead of Miroslav Klose, who was the previous record holder. So then also this conversation was happening while we were watching this match last night. I was talking to my daughter about it. And then, because the only person that Messi's really compared to is Ronaldo. 5 World Cups, blah, blah, blah. And then I said to her, but just look at the difference in the way they play. Look at how more active he is. Look at how he runs more. And then we Googled their ages. And Messi's 38. And Ronaldo's 44. And then my daughter said to me, I want to see you running around the field at a World Cup at the age of 44.
Jeez.
And I said, yes, but this is their job. That's the difference. They wake up every morning. They get paid gajillions of rands. They've got chefs. They've got au pairs. They've got everything. This is their job. Do you think you would be able to be running around at a World Cup stage at the age of 44? I guess is my question to Joburg this morning.
Look, I hear the question, but I think something has to be said about the kind of fitness that allows you to be able to do it at 44. Because yes, it's their job, but so it is true for other footballers, and there are not many I can think of who are still playing the World Cup at age 44.
Sorry, he's 41. I got it confused because Serena Williams is 44, and then that brought up that conversation.
Okay.
So we're seeing legends going well into their 40s. Are we fielding them and playing them because they're legends, or are we fielding them and playing them because of their true capability? And watching Lionel Messi last night, there's no time for him to retire. And remember, he wanted to retire in 2016. He called his retirement in 2016 when he missed a penalty, which he did miss a penalty last night, when Argentina lost the Copa America.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's okay, I'm done. And then he still came back and won the World Cup.
So he's already scored 5 goals.
At
And
this
there
World
would
Cup.
have been 6 had he not missed that penalty. I mean, we would have had a hat trick in 2 games.
Imagine. Anyway, so also last night, close behind him is Kylian Mbappe, because Mbappe scored twice for France in a 3-0 win over Iraq. Mbappe's on 16 World Cup goals, so just 2 behind Messi. And then France are through to the knockouts with Norway beating Senegal 3-2. Holland, playing in his first World Cup, has scored 2 goals to be on 4 goals in total for this tournament so far. Live on the go at the moment, Algeria coming from a goal down to level with Jordan, 1-1. It's in the second half there. Tonight, Portugal against Uzbekistan at 7. Portugal coach Roberto Martinez on what's needed to win the World Cup in general.
I think in football, the perfect team doesn't exist. I can tell you that. It's a sport that is played with the feet. So the teams that they have the ball, that they got the possession, that they want to get in the final third, they can be more open in set plays, they can be more open in counterattack. The teams that they are well organized, that they play without the ball, then they got problems in other aspects. So
in rugby, England have been forced to leave captain Maro Itoje out of their side for the Nations Championship, where they play the Springboks on July the 4th. Itoje is being rested, having breached World Rugby's recommendation of playing only 30 games a season. Jamie George will lead the side. And in tennis, former women's Wimbledon champion Marketa Vondrousova has been banned for 4 years after she refused to do an anti-doping test. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Totally advantage in FNB Speed Point. Kanjani? You can boost your cash flow with FNB Cash Advance and get pre-approved funds within 24 hours.
So whether you're buying stock, paying suppliers, or growing your business, it's easy. Get your cash. Walala wasala.
Get in the payments game with a bank that helps you unlock cash flow with FNB Speed Point. FNB, help changes everything. First National Bank, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Your boss noticed. Your ex noticed. The neighbors definitely noticed. Because some cars say, I rented a car. And some cars say, I rented the car. Sani Sixt Rent a Car. Premium rentals. For people who don't settle. Choose the right car. Rent Sani Sixt on sani.co.za.
Calling all wedding planners and venues, restaurants, conference centers, and hotels. Do you need tables and chairs? Home in One has it all. Do you need cutlery, crockery, table linen, and restaurant equipment? Home in One has it all. Do you need tents, gazebos, or umbrellas? Home in One has it all. Affordable prices, the latest trends, with 2 branches in Pretoria and Johannesburg. Shop online at homein1.co.za. Because we're your #1 choice. Home in One has it all.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
Hello, my name is Tabiso Rasakela. I'm schooling at Tarako Generation School. I'm 11 years old. I'm in grade 5. And when I grow up, I want to be a soccer player. And I can't wait to play quiz questions with Bongani. Thank you.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
14 to 7, this EWN traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. And you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask them for 500 Rand. That crash on the N1 North. A more bad one?
Oh, Bongani, it's a horrible one, particularly if you are leaving Soweto towards Randburg. It's really a hectic one. Is causing massive delays coming out of 14th Avenue towards Malibongwe Drive. About a 30-minute hold-up along the stretch. So please be on the lookout there and approach with care. If you are traveling through the east of Joburg this morning, Boksburg, Germiston, as well as Bedford View, we've got mist and fog reported along the N17 West, the N12 West, and the R24 West. So please do slow down if you're traveling along this route.
Headlights.
Yeah. I will have more updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Things people stress about in traffic. Number 54. Did I pack the right sports kit for my kid? Is today hockey or swimming? Oh, the angst. Well, with the Outsurance Pointsman on your route, at least the traffic is one less thing to stress about. The Outsurance Pointsmen have been easing traffic congestion so we all get to where we need to be quickly and safely for the past 20 years. With Outsurance, you really always get something out. In partnership with 702, Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and really all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch it this Wednesday at 10 to 9. We're speaking to Food Lovers Market. Their Group Executive for People and Sustainability, Andrew Milson, will be in conversation with us. We do this on Wednesdays to highlight efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk and together make a difference.
When you can see what others don't, you can do what others can't. Nedbank is more than just a bank. We're a growth partner because we understand that real success happens when you're looking ahead, spotting opportunities others miss, and planning for tomorrow, today. Think bigger. Think Nedbank Commercial Banking. See money differently. Nedbank. We're licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Oh, Shane, do you have a sore throat? The Andalex range of lozenges offers two options. At the first signs of an irritated, scratchy throat, use Andalex lozenges for dual-action, soothing relief. But for a painful, inflamed throat, use Andalex C lozenges for triple-action, pain relief. Andalex, SA's #1 choice for a sore mouth and throat. Andalex lozenges are available at all leading pharmacies and supermarkets.
Just Andalex it.
On Sunday, 26 July, the entire city unites for the 702 Jozi, My Jozi Walk the Talk. And today, the Clement Manyatela Show will be finding out how, by taking part in the Walk the Talk, you can make a difference in the lives of the homeless in the city. He'll be broadcasting from the MES shelter in Hillbrow, looking at homelessness as an issue. This is the Clement Manyatela Show between 9 and 12, live from Hillbrow.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Up next, bye-bye number 10. We look at the exit of yet another British Prime Minister. In the meantime, let's play the Whiz Quiz. To participate, of course, you must be aged 10 to 13. I've got 10 questions. I need 10 correct answers to give you 10,000 Rand. Otherwise, it's $100 for each correct answer. Let's go to Tabiso. Tabiso, you want to be a footballer, I'm told, later on in life. Do you have a favorite footballer?
Yes.
What's your favorite footballer's name, Tabiso?
Rila Mafukeng.
Oh, fantastic. I love that you've picked a local player. So many people would have said Ronaldo or Messi or somebody like that. Absolutely fantastic. Well, good luck to you. Let's see if you can win 10,000 Rand, hey?
Yes.
Okay, KG, start the clock. In maths, what is 9 plus 9?
18.
Correct. True or false? The artist and inventor Leonardo da Vinci was born in Italy.
True.
Correct. In which sport will a commentator shout, La Duma?
Skip.
Soccer. True or false? Peanuts grow under the ground.
Pardon?
True or false? Peanuts grow under the ground.
False.
It's true. In which province is the city Polokwane? Is it in Limpopo or the Eastern Cape?
Repeat.
In which province is the city Polokwane? Is it in Limpopo or is it in the Eastern Cape?
Eastern Cape.
That's in Limpopo. Complete the saying, it's just icing on the what?
Repeat.
Cake is the answer I was looking for there. Cake is the answer I was looking for there. I think you'll kick yourself for the football conversation. It was soccer. That's where you might often hear a commentator shouting, La Duma. And I think perhaps that's what tripped you up there. Tabiso not quite going all the way. You walk away with something, though, 200 Rand.
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
Morning, Bongani and the team. Bradley and Ronbeck. Muteo, but I've stopped this time. It's unnecessary trips. Unnecessary trips. Where you just get a call from nobody or from your friend's family or from your family, which is not necessary. And then said, "Aye, please come over." Now I'm no longer doing that. Now I stay home. Petrol is too expensive. Thanks, buddy. Bye.
Mateo, of course, asking that question, what have you put aside this year? It was part of your goals, part of your plans, and the economy just has not allowed it. We are scheduled to be speaking right now to Professor Richard Calland, who is in the UK, about the exit of Keir Starmer from Number 10. And as fortune would have it, he's not picking up his phone. So I tell you what, let's give you a sense of what occurred yesterday in Britain. We did say just about this time yesterday that the announcement was expected before the day was out, and so it came. Keir Starmer announcing he will step down as the leader of the Labour Party, and that, of course, paves a way for a contest to choose Britain's next Prime Minister.
Every decision I've taken has been about putting the country I love first. That is why I will resign as leader of the Labour Party. I have spoken to His Majesty the King this morning to inform him of my decision. I will ask the National Executive Committee of the Labour Party to set out a timetable with nominations opening on the 9th of July and completed by the summer recess. In the case of a contest, this will ensure a new leader is in place before Parliament returns in September. I will remain in post as Prime Minister until the contest is complete.
So Labour Party rules say that the leader of the Labour Party has to be a member of Parliament. There you go. The Labour Party rules say the leader of the party has to be a member of Parliament. Andy Berman, of course, is the new challenger. He's the mayor of Greater Manchester. He has tried to contest for the leadership of the Labour Party before. He's a veteran MP. He served in the cabinets of Tony Blair and, I think, Gordon Brown. Had left the mainstream British politics to be part of regional politics, if you will, the mayor of Greater Manchester, but now set to challenge for the leadership of the Labour Party. And yesterday, he was officially sworn in as the new Labour Party MP for Makerfield. This is an area that has become popular with more right-wing political parties, and so his landslide victory was the clear writing on the wall for Keir Starmer.
I swear by Almighty God that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles, his heirs and successors, according to law. So help me God. Naughty boy.
All right, that is, of course, Andy Berman officially being sworn in as a new Labour Member of Parliament for Makerfield. Britain, of course, facing the exit of yet another Prime Minister leaving Downing Street. I think it's the 6th in a decade. He was in office, was Keir Starmer, just shy of 2 years, won a massive landslide victory just 2 years ago, but in recent months had been clinging to power desperately following a tenure marred by policy missteps, U-turns, and cabinet resignations.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
I love it. I love it. The SMS is coming in thick and fast. A point of correction about that cricket game. So we're talking, of course, about Zinedine Zidane. It is his 53rd birthday today. And we're talking about those memories that stick out in your head, those sporting memories that live rent-free in your head. And one of them, we heard from a voice note, was that famous game, South Africa versus Australia at the Wanderers. I think it was the year 2006. I'm pretty certain I'm right about that. And I called it the 4-3-5 game. And the technicalities are the Aussies scored 4-3-4. We had to get 4-3-5, obviously, to win. But we scored a boundary to get the winning runs. And our score then was 4-3-2. 8. So I'd called it the 4-3-5 game, but those are the details, perhaps, that I'm getting a lot of SMSs from friends who are listening to the program, making sure I say it exactly the way it is. And, of course, let's just be clear. The other thing Cindy Paluta and I said was that Ronaldo was 44. He's not. He's 41. Cindy did correct that. So we got it. We've cleared that little mistake.
Morning, Bongani and the team. One sporting event that I can never forget is the marathon at the 1996 Olympic Games when Josiah Tuwani won the gold medal for South Africa. That was simply unbelievable. And I was 7 back then, but for some reason I just can't forget that. Thank you.
Morning, Bongs. My football moments that will be forever rent-free in my memory when Senegal lost to Portugal during the 2010 World Cup here in South Africa. Senegal was just like Africa's last hope, main hope, up until that match with Portugal. I forgot the name of the guy now that lost the penalty. And then, that'll be my best ever memory.
Good morning, Bongani and team. How are you? For me, the most memorable sporting moment would be a comeback by Manchester United so many decades ago. But I think that became one of the defining moments for Manchester United. That's when they came back, did a comeback against Bayern Munich in a UEFA Champions League final. That should have been back in 96, 97. They were, I think, 2-1 down, and they came back in injury time to win it 3-2.
Those are the ones that live with you, aren't they? Man United coming back against Bayern. I'm not a fan of either side, but who can forget Liverpool under the great Steven Gerrard? Was it 2005? They were 3-0 down, playing in Turkey, and it all seemed lost, and somehow they pulled a rabbit out of the hat. Josiah Tuwani, of course, with his peace sign running in Atlanta in 1996. Those sporting memories that live rent-free in your head.
702.
Coming up, the big interview.
We do apologize. We weren't able to reach Professor of Public Law at UCT, Professor Emeritus Richard Calland, on the exit of Keir Starmer. So that is regrettable, but it is one of those things. Coming up next, we look at the plan. 600 million rand has been set aside by the police to make sure that infrastructure and the stability of the country are protected come the 30th of June.
This is EWN.
The SANDF is on standby for June 30 protests, and the Impeachment Committee promises to treat Ramaphosa fairly. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Defence Minister Angie Motshekga says current intelligence assessments do not indicate any imminent threats of widespread unrest during planned protests against undocumented foreign nationals. 30 June is a date set by groups including March and March for migrants without documents to leave South Africa. Soldiers are on standby as a precautionary measure. Motshekga and Police Minister Firoz Kachalia briefed media in Johannesburg yesterday on the security cluster's readiness for next Tuesday. Koskona Malingamnisi reports.
The security cluster's plan to maintain peace and stability on June 30 involves multiple government departments and law enforcement agencies. For now, the SANDF remains on standby to support police should any violence erupt, as Defence Minister Angie Motshekga explains.
There is a need for us as a defence force, as a contingency measure in case things just go out of hand.
The security operation is costing the state more than 600 million rand. Further planning meetings are underway ahead of the day. Kosikona Malingamnisi, Eyewitness News.
The NPA says its case against alleged political fixer Brian Mogotsi relies on two witnesses who allegedly saw him opening fire at his own car. The Johannesburg Regional Court yesterday heard that Mogotsi's wife allegedly tried to intimidate a neighbor and coerce her into making false statements to support his claims of a home address. The prosecution has argued this demonstrates a real risk that Mogotsi could interfere with state witnesses if released on bail. Mogotsi was arrested last month for allegedly staging his own assassination plot. Dimakatso Leshuro reports.
Prosecutor Advocate Tamim Bekana read the investigating officer's affidavit into record, arguing that his wife's alleged conduct points to a pattern of interference with the investigation.
I am now of the view that the applicant can and will interfere with the state witnesses indirectly and directly, even to communicate with state witnesses from prison, to threaten and coerce state witnesses to supply false statements.
Bekana told the court a case of intimidation has been opened against Mogotsi's wife, Dorothy Lechwaba, with allegations that she used vulgar language against neighbor Tandiwe Senokwane. The state further submitted that there is a strong possibility that a statement provided by Tandiwe's son, Maxwell Senokwana, was not made freely or voluntarily. Timakadzo Leshoro, Eyewitness News.
Chairperson of Parliament's Impeachment Committee, Makashule Gana, says President Cyril Ramaphosa will be treated fairly in an open and transparent process, and that any harm he expects to suffer is perceived. On behalf of the committee, Ghana yesterday officially filed an affidavit with the Western Cape High Court to oppose attempts by Ramaphosa to delay the work of the inquiry. Ramaphosa is facing impeachment over the $580,000 stored and then stolen from his farm. Lindsay Dentlinga reports.
The president wants the Section 89 inquiry to halt its work until the court has considered the independent panel report that has given rise to the inquiry. But Impeachment Committee Chairperson Makashule Gane argues that the President's review application is moot because the Constitutional Court already ordered that the report be referred to an impeachment committee. Gane has told the court that the President should not fear being defamed through witness testimony, since it's his job to ensure the integrity of the process, and the President will have the opportunity to dispute the evidence. Meanwhile, Speaker Toka Didiza has instead opted to abide by a court ruling, saying the National Assembly is under a constitutional obligation to act without delay. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
And Iran's chief negotiator Mohammad Bagher Khalibaf says the Strait of Hormuz will be administered by Tehran following talks pushing to end the US-Israeli war on the Islamic Republic. Iran and the US have agreed to set up communication lines to keep the vital shipping route open and end fighting in Lebanon. In a video posted on Khalibaf's Telegram account, he says the talks in Switzerland are going well, and the US has temporarily suspended sanctions on Iranian oil after Vice President J.D. Vance said Tehran would allow UN nuclear inspectors to return to the country following the talks. US President Donald Trump says he's pleased with the progress made.
We're doing very well in terms of negotiating a fair and reasonable deal. One of the things that we are doing also, and it came up last night, is money that's being unfrozen is going to be used to buy food, and the food's going to be bought exclusively through the United States from our farmers.
Gold is trading at $4,138.57 an ounce. The rand is at 16.44 to the dollar, 21.77 to the pound, 18.78 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $77.53 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy traffic volumes in the Rand Park Ridge area along Bears Nadia Drive approaching the N1. Speaking of the N1, traffic remains very slow between Malibongwe Drive and 14th Avenue due to a major accident scene causing about a 30-minute hold-up.
And in your sport, Lionel Messi's the World Cup's all-time leading goal scorer with a brace in Argentina's win last night. They're through to the knockout with France and Norway as Mbappe and Haaland scored 2 goals each. This morning, Algeria came from a goal down to beat Jordan 2-1.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng, Johannesburg and Vereniging, both at lows of 5 degrees, peaking at 17, Pretoria 6 and 20. The top story in EWN this hour, Defence Minister Antjie Motshekga says current intelligence assessments do not indicate any imminent threats of widespread unrest during planned protests against undocumented foreigners.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Visit primemediaplus.com to enter 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk. Hosted by the City of Johannesburg. Walk with the people, for our Josie.
For Joburg, by Joburg, in Joburg.
Bamise bonke.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the
7
talk.
after 7. It's a serious moment in our country. The defense, the security cluster ministers yesterday briefing the nation on what is to happen ahead of that date set by various groups for protests and demonstrations against migrants without documents. They say they must leave the country by that date. Up next, we speak to the police around the monies that have been set aside, 600 million rand diverted from other areas. And I want to know what loses out, which area will lose out. The police minister yesterday went as far as saying this is the cost of recklessness. And that's how he framed it. The people that are calling for this, they are the same ones who are going to be complaining about crime and the lack of resources being devoted to their needs when it comes to law enforcement, because those funds have now been diverted to deal with any anticipated threats to the stability of our infrastructure, but broadly the country. The other worrying story is being reported by News 24 this morning. They had a sit-down interview with Advocate Andrea Johnson. She, of course, heading up IDAC. This is the Investigating Directorate Against Corruption. And she is questioning statements made by Top Cop Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. This was around the decision not to arrest those senior police officers. And some chilling words were mentioned by Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. And I'm going to quote now from News 24. Andrea Johnson saying, "Corruption is rampant and we should never do our work in fear. I know I said how taken aback I was after Thursday. It's putting it mildly. I have had the biggest ball in the pit of my stomach since Thursday. I usually bounce back quickly, but it's not happening at the moment, simply because those two phrases, we are at war and blood on the streets, leave me chilled." This, of course, following the appearance of General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi at that police station in Pretoria. And Andrea Johnson, speaking to News 24, is asking, whose blood? Who is at war? It's a really, really interesting moment, tense moment even, in our country right now.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
One of the things, of course, that was really fascinating to watch yesterday was how the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry decided to handle Medicare 24 CEO Mike van Wyk. Remember, he was meant to testify yesterday at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. He submitted a sick note saying that he'd been suffering severe panic attacks that led to him needing to see a psychiatrist. What was interesting is that the commission continued leading evidence with Advocate Matthew Chaskalson presenting WhatsApp chats and videos linking Van Wyk to illicit activities. They've still sent him a list of questions to which he must, of course, respond, even though he wasn't there in person yesterday. But the commission not wasting any opportunity. Another video, of course, that I think has been doing the rounds and worth discussing is the one exchanged with Vusumuzi Kat Matlala, allegedly showing 5 bricks of cocaine being weighed. There was also a video circulating of him using banknotes to fan himself because he has so much money. I mean, it really is just an unbelievable place we find ourselves in South Africa.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
It is the birthday of football legend Zinedine Zidane. He turns all of 53 today, regarded as really one of the greats of football, leading, of course, France to their first ever World Cup triumph in 1998. And that's why we've been talking about the sporting moments you will never forget. New allegations surfacing against Brown Mokgotsi, the political fixer, with claims that he and his wife attempted to influence a key witness whilst he was still in custody. Adam Gilchrist in The Worldview will bring us a report from Myanmar. The military there, according to the United Nations, responsible for the deaths of more than 700 civilians during the 6 months leading up to last year's election. And among those killed were hundreds of women and children. And it's highlighting the worsening humanitarian crisis in that country. He died at the age of 100. Alan Greenspan, the influential former chair of the U.S. Federal Reserve. And of course, the other sad news yesterday was the passing away of the legendary music executive Clive Davis at the age of 94. Think who's who in pop and R&B: Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, Dionne Warwick, Bruce Springsteen, Santana, Janis Joplin, Luther Vandross, Alicia Keys. All of those artists working with the legend. Clive Davis passing away at the age of 94.
702. Up next,
The Big Interview.
EWN.
13 after 7, the CWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask them for 500 Rand. I know there are delays in Tshwane, but let's catch up on that N1 crash. Delays between Malibongwe, you said, and 14th Avenue.
That's correct.
How's that looking
Bongani.
now?
It's still horrible. About a 30-minute hold-up between the 2 points that you mentioned. Bongani, please drive with care. If you want to avoid this backlog, try to use the Mike 1 North, although there's peak time delays there, but it's not as bad as it is on the N1 North. And then if you're traveling in the city of Tshwane, more fog patches have been reported across the city, so please be on the lookout there and drive with care. Speaking of the city of Tshwane, we've got delays on the R80 South between the Hairpin Bend and the Mpahlele exit. There's also queuing traffic reported on the N1 South between the Flying Saucer Interchange and Water Avenue. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Outsurance knows insurance isn't tested on promises, it's tested when it's time to claim. The Ombudsman, an independent body that rules on complaints, confirmed in their 2025 annual report that Outsurance had the lowest overturned ratio of complaints received. The question is, are you with the insurer that treats their clients the fairest? Outsurance delivers when it's time to claim, so why don't you switch for peace of mind? Call 08600 60,000 or visit outsurance.co.za today. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's and information online.
Do you ever call you like to sell, but don't trust your uncle or your pal? Then we buy cars is just for you. Buying cars is what we do. We offer service with a smile. We always go the extra mile. Use a place that you trust and sell your car to us.
We Buy Cars, the easiest way to sell your car by far.
It's Powerball jackpot time. This Tuesday, you have a chance to win over 170 million Rand in total Powerball estimated jackpots. That is life-changing money that could be yours instantly. You can catch the live draw tonight at 9 p.m. on ETV and SABC. Who knows? If you could be South Africa's next multi-millionaire. The National Lottery. Mo plays, mo chances, mo millions. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The National Lottery is officially operated by Sizekaya.
That's Sia before he got naked. Sia had a bumper bash and had to reattach his fender using duct tape and a prayer. So Sia got naked. He got comprehensive car insurance in seconds and can now submit claims instantly on the Naked app. No more arts and crafts for you, Sia. Cover your car and home now at naked.insure and see how easy insurance can be when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
Get over 150 million Rand in weekly extra savings with the Checkers XXL Savings Championship. Like Jacob's Chronomore Gold Instant Coffee, 200 or 230 grams, any two for 299 Rand. Escort Diced Back Round Cut or Shoulder Bacon, 200 grams, any three for 99 Rand. And Omo Auto Liquid Detergent, 2 litres, or capsules 20 per pack. Buy 2 and get a third free. Valid until 28 June, only at Checkers.
AI, global markets, and trillion-dollar companies. The headlines move fast, but what do they really mean for investors and everyday South Africans? Well, tomorrow, catch 702 Drive with John Perlman in conversation with 91. They'll unpack the trends shaping markets, investment, and the future of the global economy. Discover what's driving today's biggest investment conversations. That's 702 Drive with John Perlman in conversation with 91. Tomorrow on 702.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
17 after 7. So will the 30th of June be high noon? The government is taking no chances. 600 million rand has been set aside to ensure that law enforcement will cover every nook and cranny to secure the country from any threats to destabilize public safety. Over the past few weeks, social media videos, growing public mobilization, isolated incidents of intimidation and reports of violence, including the killing of a foreign national in KwaZulu-Natal over the weekend, have all added to public anxiety about what could unfold. Yesterday, the acting police minister, Feroz Kashalia, saying this is the cost of reckless behavior. He's on a flight at the moment, so he couldn't speak to us, but Brigadier Adlenda Mate, the spokesperson for SAPS, graciously agreed to take the call. As always, thank you for your time and good morning.
Very good morning to you and to your listeners.
Are we ready for the 30th of June?
Well, absolutely. We're quite confident that the measures that we have put in place will yield positive results. Over the weekend, the minister met with the acting national commissioner, the chairperson of the NetGens, as well as all 9 provincial commissioners, where we were reviewing the existing operational plans. And so far, he's quite satisfied that we will be able to police the 30th of June. Yesterday as well, he met with the Minister of Defence, where they were engaging on possible sharing of resources, and if there is a need, should there be a need on that particular day, then the SANDF a decision will be made that the SANDF should support the SAPS. So we are quite confident. I mean, when you look at previous mobilizations and gatherings, I think they were policed successfully.
I've been looking at what's been unfolding over the past few weeks. I've been calling them dress rehearsals because that's what they look like to me. Whether it's been in Tembisa or Pietermaritzburg or Durban, of course we know the right to protest is constitutionally protected. But some of these demonstrators have been armed to the teeth. We've seen knoopkieries and spears. I mean, just look at the front page of the Sowetan this morning. They've got an image from a protest in Umlazi in Durban yesterday, and it looks menacing. We've already heard of a foreign national who was killed over the weekend. I mean, this is no ordinary picket.
Well, absolutely. The issue of weapons during the public gatherings remains a matter of serious concern, but the law is very clear. No person may carry dangerous weapons or firearms at a gathering, because such conduct is prohibited. But then you do have a problem when many of them turn up with those particular weapons. You look at the risk of having to now disarm them. You look at that risk. So you look at if they are causing any problems, if they are using those weapons in a wrong manner, because now the risk comes when you have to now forcefully take those weapons at that time. So police on the ground usually use the threat and risk assessment, and if the risk and threat is greater by trying to remove those particular weapons, they will just ensure that they allow them at that particular time, just to ensure that there is no violence and the situation does not escalate. But we also ensure that at that moment when they are carrying those weapons, there is no violence and they are not used in a wrong manner.
So are you saying then that the more of them who show up with these weapons, it becomes too overwhelming for the police, and so they don't disarm them and they continue to pose that threat?
Unfortunately, that is the reality on the ground, that you do find some instances where they turn up in large numbers already carrying their weapons. So you look at the risk, the pros and cons in ensuring that, at the end of the day, we all want peaceful demonstrations. So if the demonstrations are peaceful while they are carrying their weapons, you police that particular gathering and you ensure that you monitor it, but you don't disarm, because that might cause more problems.
So here's the worry, Brigadier. Movements like this often seek martyrs, right? I'm worried about a scenario in which a crowd has these weapons and there are a lot of people, and as menacing as we've seen them, of course, in the various places where they've been demonstrating, something goes wrong, perhaps even a provocation against police officers. What happens if they are deliberately provoked, if things go wrong? We surely don't want another Marikana on our hands.
Look, we've got a comprehensive plan in place, and we've got the public order police that are highly trained on controlling large gatherings. But as and when the situation escalates, there is a proper plan in place. We've got various units that are on standby. But as indicated yesterday, the SANDF can be called in if the situation calls for the army. But for now, the army won't be part of June 30, but should the situation escalate, they will be called in to assist. But we do appreciate the traditional leadership, the voice of the traditional leadership that has been very vocal to say, let there be no violence. Yes, do gather, do demonstrate, but let there be no violence. We heard from the king King Misizulu KwaZulu-Natal, where he lended his voice to discourage acts of violence. We also on Sunday actually met with the Prime Minister of the Zulu Kingdom, Thulasizwe Buthelezi, where they assured us that they keep on engaging their people in ensuring that this particular demonstration will take place without violence. But we are fully prepared. Should any incident or any situation escalate, we are fully prepared.
Brigadier, can you share with us? There'll be people who'll be concerned about the 30th of June and whether or not they can move as they usually do, whether or not there'll be flashpoints in terms of transportation and the highways. What plans can you share with us? It's a week from now, 7 days hence. Should it be business as usual in terms of how people commute to their workplaces, their businesses, schools, etc.? I need some assurances now from you about the specifics, if you can.
Well, I can't go much into the operational plan, but to ensure that there will be heightened police visibility across the country, especially in the 4 provinces that have been identified as the hotspots, your Gauteng, your KZN, your Eastern Cape, your Western Cape, but not to say that in other provinces we are not planning accordingly. All 9 provincial commissioners are on board. The acting minister is actually going to be having an engagement with all 9 premiers to also ensure that the provincial governments are also on board to support the efforts of the SAPS. So we'd like to assure the people of South Africa that we are fully in charge. We are ready to police the demonstrations. We are not going to allow any type of lawlessness. We are going to act decisively against those particular criminal incidents.
600 million rand set aside for next week. This is, of course, money that has been diverted from elsewhere. What loses out?
Look, it's the 600 million being spent. It's really not money being diverted away from daily policing or operations that targeting the illegal immigration. It is an operational budget that is always there to ensure that when there are emergency deployments, then we take away, we utilize that particular budget. And also there is this perception that is doing the rounds that the SAPS only acts on illegal immigration during these demonstrations. we can assure the people of South Africa, if you look at the statistics from January up until now, we have arrested more than 40,000 illegal immigrants in the country. I think in the past financial year, it was about 75,000 on a weekly basis. We don't arrest no less than 1.2 of them. So there is a lot. We are not turning a blind eye on the illegal foreigner situation. And we also urge those that are in the country, all the foreign nationals that are in the country, please ensure that you are in possession of valid documentation, your work permits and so on, because if you do not have valid documentation to be in South Africa, then you are in contravention of the law, and we have to then do our job.
Brigadier, of course, they will all be aware of that. The worry is, and I've seen this, people shamboked at times in front of police officers when they fail to produce their documents. And so that's a worry. And no less than the president has said people shouldn't be going around asking people for documents. But I just want to make sure I understood the minister correctly. And I'm quoting from what he said now. He said, we're making those resources available. This is additional funding outside of the budget. I want people to understand the cost to the country and therefore to themselves of reckless behavior. Money that would otherwise have been deployed, perhaps to improve safety in communities and police stations, now has to be spent on ensuring that we have the resources to deal with this protest action. End quote. Did I misunderstand the minister there?
Well, absolutely not. I think the point that the minister is saying is that to save lives, to safeguard business, it doesn't come at an ordinary cost. It's quite expensive. And the cost of not preparing for a high-risk national operation like this could be significantly
Sure.
greater.
Absolutely understand that. My question was, what has lost out because this money now must come to this?
Well, I don't think anything is losing out because day-to-day operations are continuing. The police stations are effective. They are responding to their day-to-day responsibilities and so on. But that is the reality.
All right.
To plan for such a large demonstration, there is a cost involved, and we will do anything in our power to ensure that there are no economic losses, there's no destruction of businesses, there is no loss of life. That is our obviously focus for now.
All right, appreciate your time. Firm stance there from the police. Brigadier Adlenda Mate is the spokesperson of SAPS. Are you reassured? 7 days hence, will you be going to your place of business? Will you carry on as usual? Or is it one of those days that increasingly you're just waiting to see what happens next?
EWN.
Business news now. Muteo Khare, the coal miner Exxaro benefiting from higher coal prices, but rail troubles are hurting the business.
Yeah, Exxaro says it expects output to increase by 10%, while sales volumes are due to go up 6% in the first half of 2026. The company has been boosted by stronger global coal prices. Coal prices have risen due to supply disruptions and geopolitical tensions in the Middle East stemming from the war in Iran. Now, despite the solid performance, the company's shares were down 4.5% on Monday. This is on the JSE. Ongoing rail network problems with Transnet have limited coal deliveries from its Grootegeluk mine. The Richards Bay coal terminal has a capacity to export 3.9 million tons, but Exxaro says it's only been able to move under 2 million tons, forcing the company to rely on more expensive trucking and alternative export routes. Exxaro says if Transnet was more efficient, the company could be exporting double what it is doing now.
Retail confidence, of course, is one way to gauge consumer spending.
Not going too well. Retail confidence continued to weaken in the second quarter of 2026, with only 31% of retailers satisfied with business conditions. This was down from 36% in the first quarter. As a result, spending on items such as furniture and other discretionary goods has dropped sharply, while demand for everyday necessities has also remained more resilient.
Your indicators?
The rand, 16 rand 44 against the US dollar, 18 rand 79 against the euro, 21 rand 77 against the British pound. Price of gold is down 1% at $4,135 an ounce, or platinum is down 1.5% at $1,649. Brent crude at $77 a barrel. More business after 8.
Time for latest eyewitness news. Sfiso Zulu, who really lives in the house next door?
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Well, Limpopo police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the discovery of 23 young people in a suspected human trafficking case. The women and men aged between 19 and 23 were found at a house in Seshego yesterday following a tip-off. The group told authorities they were housed there by a man who had recruited them under the guise of selling insurance. Mongezi Koko reports.
Police arrested a man yesterday after receiving information about alleged suspicious activities at the house. Preliminary investigations revealed that the young men and women came from several provinces, including Limpopo, Gauteng, Mpumalanga, and KwaZulu-Natal. A foreign national believed to be renting the house was also found on the premises and will be processed by Home Affairs immigration officials. Police are now gathering evidence to determine the full circumstances surrounding the case. Mongezi Koko, Eyewitness News.
The IEC has attributed the growth of voter registration numbers to the improved effectiveness of its digital systems. While majority of registrations were done in person, the Commission says there has been growth in the use of its online platforms, especially among young people. Eligible citizens can still register to vote online following the registration drive over the weekend. Anelita Fandese reports.
The IEC says 12% of total voter registration activity was completed through the online registration portal. Young people between the ages of 16 and 29 dominated this past weekend's registrations, representing 27% of all activity recorded. The age group also accounted for 48% of online self-registrations, while the Commission's website received 12 million visits over the 2-day period. To further boost participation, the Commission announced that its online voter registration portal is now zero-rated, allowing citizens to register or update their details without incurring data costs. Anelita Fandese, Eyewitness News.
Meanwhile, there are concerns that South Africa could face its most contentious local government elections since 1996 if authorities don't curb political violence. A series of recent killings have been reported involving political figures in some parts of the country over the voter registration weekend drive. The IEC has vowed that safety measures will be bolstered as campaigning season ramps up. Ntutuzelo Nene has more.
Political analyst Andre Duvenacher says the violence poses a serious threat to political stability and could undermine the credibility of the elections. He says maintaining law and order rests primarily with the South African Police Service.
And we know what is the state of affairs when it comes to the South African Police Service. Indeed, a very, very challenging environment. My prediction is higher levels of instability and less free and fair elections.
Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News.
And more than 1,000 Ebola infections have now been recorded in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where the latest outbreak has killed more than 250 people. The country's National Institute of Public Health confirmed the numbers recently. The latest outbreak of the deadly virus was declared last month. Almost all cases are in Ituri province in the northeast, a conflict-weary region plagued by armed groups. And the virus has also spread to neighboring Uganda, where the World Health Organization has recorded 20 cases and 2 fatalities, though Kampala said the situation was under control earlier this month. The outbreak is caused by the rare strain of the virus for which there is no vaccine or specific treatment. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures are at lows of 5 and 6 degrees, peaking at highs between 17 and 20.
And in the traffic, we've got delays in the city of Tshwane along the intersection of Irene, Nelmay Pearson Main Road. Please be on the lookout there. While traveling on the N1 North, delays between the Brakfontein Interchange and John Forster Drive.
The top story this hour, Limpopo police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the discovery of 23 young people in a suspected human trafficking case in Seshego.
Many of us take taking a deep breath for granted. But for some infants with RSV, every breath is a battle. Respiratory syncytial virus is a contagious virus that can lead to serious illnesses, including lung infections. Fortunately, protection for infants against RSV is now available in South Africa. Ask your healthcare provider about keeping your baby protected during their first RSV season.
Sure, they aced it. The Championship's Wimbledon experience with the Mzansi Advantage is back at Amex Tennistown Monte Casino between 11 and 12 July 2026. Enjoy VIP hospitality, the ultimate big screen experience, a kids fun zone, and so much more. Buy your tickets now on Howler and get 50% off on limited tickets when you use your Amex card. Tennis is better with Amex. American Express Cards is operated under license in South Africa by Nedbank, a licensed financial services and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Ready to go?
No, can't.
Your mother raised you. She can look after him for one day.
But he's just your baby.
He's 7.
Just your baby.
I've packed his favorite toy and blanket.
Okay, just grab his Hills food.
Always.
We know that you only want the best for your small dog, which is why Hills has developed expert, science-backed nutrition to meet the unique needs of small dogs and help them live their best lives across their longer lifespans. Hills Pet Nutrition. Science does more.
Joburg is more than just a city. It's an energy, a pulse, and a feeling connecting everybody. The heart of Mzansi.
It's Joburg.
In celebration of this, 702 has partnered with Jozi My Jozi, and we're calling on you to walk through the city center with us.
Walk the talk.
In the 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk. Babise bonke. On Sunday, 26 July, we're going to the iconic Joburg CBD, the home of dream creators and operators, where we dominate and history make. So join us and be a part of something special.
I'm ready to rock this book.
Because when Joburg walks together, extraordinary things happen. Enter now on primemediaplus.com and get ready for 702 Jozi My Jozi Walk the Talk this July, hosted by the city of Johannesburg. Walk with the people, for our Jozi. Babise bonke. Enter Walk the Talk now on primemediaplus.com.
702
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Morning, Bongani. I'm always amazed whenever we deploy the army or the police have to do something. They talk about additional money. The army is a permanent force. Those people work for the army. So if they are deployed, they just get their salary. And I'm not sure why the police being deployed would incur additional costs. This always amazes me every time I hear a spokesman from either the military or the police on your show.
Well, I would imagine, they plan for specific areas and specific operations. You have to move or deploy troops from elsewhere. All of those logistics cost money. You have to house people. You have to transport people. You have to send additional troops to a particular province, a particular hotspot that you might have identified, moving all of that personnel, the equipment, the weapons, the transport, places to stay, feeding them. All of that, quite apart from the fancy gizmos and, things they must use to identify where the crowds might be gathered, etc. All of that costs money.
Good morning, Bongani. If 600 million was spent to successfully avoid the July 2021 unrests where hundreds of people lost their lives and tens and tens of billions of infrastructure was destroyed, then 600 million would have been money well spent. But it's damned if you do, damned if you don't, because if you do spend it and it successfully avoids whatever was coming, nobody would believe that was coming. And if it wasn't spent and the excrement did hit the air conditioner, then one says up front what could have been done to avoid it. So it is a very difficult circumstance, but I do think we do need to take all the necessary measures to avoid a repeat of July 2021. This is Hendrik from Pretoria.
Yeah, I don't think anybody will quibble with the money that is being spent. I think the police minister yesterday was making the point that if those funds that are now having to be allocated to this operation were kept where they would normally have been used, then we might have better outcomes. And so now all of this action is having to be undertaken because this is what these groups are forcing them to do. And I think that's the point I was trying to drive home. But absolutely, nobody would argue that this needs to be done. But they do say the good news rarely makes the headlines.
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance, a chance for you to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. First, 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little later, 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask Outsurance for 500 Rand. Izzy has today's answer, and Izzy is in Edenvale. Izzy, you have today's answer. What is it, please?
The answer today is 94.
94, Izzy, and I'm told you do have a quote from Outsurance, so 1,000 Rand coming your way. All thanks to Outsurance and 702. Thank you for that answer. 94 is the answer. What's the question? Call us if you know on 011 8830 702.
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta here with the sports news. I'm struck by what you said a little earlier on. Lionel Messi was meant to bow out in 2016.
Yeah.
He is 39. I think his birthday is tomorrow, Amo was saying.
Yeah, he turns 39
Turns
tomorrow.
39 tomorrow. I mean, I think he's still got another one in him.
Another World
Yeah.
Cup. Yeah, why not?
He's Messi. I promise you, he's still got one in him.
Yeah, well, we'll have more for you in the World Cup desk at the end of this bulletin because he is the World Cup all-time leading goal scorer. First, though, Rugby England have rested captain Maro Itoje for the Nations Championship with Jamie George leading the side against the Springboks, Fiji and Argentina. South African-born centre Bernard Janse van Rensburg is set to make his debut but will only be eligible for England after the Springbok game. In tennis, former women's Wimbledon champion Marketa van der Merwe has been banned for 4 years after refusing to do an anti-doping test. And at the Women's T20 Cricket World Cup, there's 3 games today. First up, defending champions New Zealand are trying to still get a win. They play Scotland, followed by Ireland, Sri Lanka. The late game, Australia playing Pakistan. South Africa fans needing Pakistan to win as Australia are unbeaten in the Proteas group.
The EWN World Cup Desk. The latest scores, the biggest stories, and the moments everyone's talking about.
Well, as we said, Lionel Messi has broken another record.
Oh, yes, there it is. There it is. In terms of scoring in World Cup finals, you are looking at the greatest of all time.
Messi scored both Argentina's goals in a 2-0 win over Austria to be the World Cup's all-time leading goal scorer on 18 in total. He did miss a penalty early in the game. France beat Iraq 3-0. Kylian Mbappe scored 2 to be on 16 World Cup goals in total, just 2 behind Messi. Half-time for France was 2 hours and 10 minutes due to a rain and thunderstorms. Also in contention for the Golden Boot is Erling Haaland. He scored twice as Norway beat Senegal 3-2 to go to the knockouts with France and Argentina. Haaland on World Cup debut has now scored 4 goals in 2 games. That's just 4 less than Ronaldo's total after 5 World Cups. Tonight, Portugal plays Uzbekistan at 7 p.m. Coach Roberto Martinez is expecting a tough one.
We need to be ourselves. We respect immensely the experience of Fabio Cannavaro and what he's doing with his team. It's always difficult to play against teams that they got no real expectations in a big tournament, because for Uzbekistan to arrive here is a big celebration. We respect them immensely, and we need to be ready for what's going to be a really challenging game.
After that, England plays Ghana at 10 p.m. Ghana coach Carlos Queiroz.
Great coach, great players. I know because I've been there, as you said, the profile and the style of the team when they start to play against us. It is amazing because it is unique. It is the English style that comes from Premiership. But it is not the only football culture in the world. They are not the only football culture in the world. We respect them.
Just finished, Algeria came from a goal down to beat Jordan 2-1. Bafana next plays South Korea on Thursday morning at 3 a.m. Iran left a handwritten note in the dressing room after their match against Belgium in LA. The message saying, "May peace, respect and friendship prevail among all nations." Iran are competing while their country and the USA are still in negotiations to end a war. So 6 teams in total have booked their place in the knockouts. France, Argentina and Norway joining Mexico, Germany and the USA. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
From kickoff to the final whistle, this is the EWN World Cup Desk.
This July, experience a world premiere unlike anything Johannesburg has seen before. The Bacchae, an African choral ballet, is a first of its kind collaboration between Joburg Ballet, UJ Arts and Culture, the acclaimed University of Joburg Choir, and a live chamber orchestra from the Johannesburg Philharmonic Orchestra. A bold reimagining of that timeless classic by Euripides. This spectacular production fuses ballet, African choral music, and live orchestral performance into one unforgettable theatrical event. See it from the 3rd to the 12th of July at the Mandela Theatre at the Joburg Theatre. Book now at Web Tickets. The Bacchae, an African choral ballet, a landmark world premiere. Don't miss it.
That's Liesel, before she got naked. Liesel checked her insurance premium and got angrier than the time a teenager called her Tunny. So Liesel got naked and got comprehensive car insurance and a way lower premium in seconds, all on the Naked app. There we go, Liesel. Get a car and home insurance quote now at naked.insure and see how much you can save when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
Are your nails discolored, brittle, crumbly, or appear ragged? Are they thickened or starting to lift off the nail bed? You may have a fungal nail infection, which can lead to discomfort, limit your activities, and have a negative impact on your social life because of the embarrassment. New Turbane Nail treats fungal nail infections by directly killing the fungus. It requires no filing before application and dries in about 30 seconds once applied. Ask your pharmacist about New Turbane Nail and say goodbye to fungal nail infections.
702 and Corporates That Care caught up with the Passenger Rail Agency of South Africa about how they're reconnecting communities through safe, reliable, and affordable rail transport.
When you talk about the scholars, pensioners, youth, any customer, one of the key things we focus on is customers must feel safe in the environment. So you find not only securitization of our assets, but also our customers, securing them, making them feel safe. We've got security on the trains. It's got the CCTV cameras on the trains, our stations. So the environment we need to look at, and that is critical. Part of our secondary mandate, Bongani, is also to generate revenue of our assets. We own significant property, land, but also other assets like fiber.
Visit prasa.com to learn more about their services, projects, and community initiatives. Corporates That Care with the Passenger Rail Agency of South Africa on 702. Let's walk the talk.
EWN Traffic.
12 to 8, this EWN Traffic brought to you by the House of Citroen. The all-new Citroen Basalt is here. Book a test drive at citroen.co.za. The N1 North crash, almost still the big story.
It is indeed, Bongani, as you approach Malibongwe Drive. This is due to that accident, as you say, Bongani, about a 20-minute hold-up at this moment. At least now the delays are not coming out of 14th Avenue. They're right after Beyers Naudé Drive. And speaking of Beyers Naudé Drive, is also heavily backed up as a result of this scene coming out of John Vorster Drive. And then if you are traveling in Sandton, please do be on the lookout as you are traveling within several roads within the CBD. This is due to a zero to reduced visibility due to foggy conditions. Unfortunately, please do slow down, keep your headlights on, and drive a bit slower than usual. And please be patient, understanding that most motorists can't actually see what's in front of them. And then if you're traveling in the city of Tshwane, we do have an accident on the N14 East. It happened right after the R55, causing heavy traffic volumes. We'll have more updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The all-new Citroen Basalt is here with keyless entry, wireless Apple and Android CarPlay. It's made to look good and make life easy. And that 470-litre boot, it's ready for every outfit change and then some. The all-new Citroen Basalt Coupe SUV from 354,000 Rand. Register now for the limited launch deal assist of up to 40,000 Rand. Book a test drive today at citroen.co.za. T's and C's apply.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance. Please tell me, what's the question if the answer is 94? Let's go to Kevin in Roodepoort. Kevin, what's the question?
Good day, Bongani. The question is, at what age did the legendary artist record producer Clive Davis Day.
Yes, indeed. News coming out yesterday that the legend Clive Davis is no more, passing away at the age of 94. I suppose when you think of any career, right, you have to look at what the people who understood best what the person you are talking about accomplished and achieved, and perhaps the name that comes closest to what Clive Davis achieved is Tommy Mottola. And I'm looking at his tribute on Instagram, looking at the influence of Clive David. He says, "When I grew up and was raised in the music industry, there was never a greater name than Clive Davis. He had iconic status, a mix of great ears combined with law background and business acumen. No question, there was only one Clive Davis. Rest in peace, my friend." Where Clive Davis, of course, produced the likes of Whitney Houston, Barry Manilow, Bruce Springsteen, Billy Joel, Alicia Keys. Tommy Mottola was responsible for the careers of Celine Dion, Mariah Carey, Shakira, Ricky Martin. And who better than he to pay tribute to his friend?
Music is unique, music is special, music has a very individual, meaningful role in society.
Clive Davis, responsible behind all those artists. He's responsible, rather, for all those artists. You heard Bruce Springsteen, Kelly Clarkson, Alicia Keys, and, of course, the great Whitney Houston. What a career. What a contribution. Thank you for the music.
Outsurance can't improve your parallel parking skills, but they could improve the car insurance premium you currently pay. Get a quote today, and if Outsurance can't save you money on your car insurance premium, ask for 500 Rand cash. Make that 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years. Get a quote and get savings or cash. Either way, you win. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
Are you a legal practitioner looking to do your mediation course? Come and train in mediation with the Law Society of South Africa, the preferred leader in legal education with over 35 years of experience. We also offer advanced training, specialized skills development, and continuous legal education to ensure legal practitioners excel with competence and integrity. Stay ahead in your profession. Explore more courses at lssa.org.za. The Law Society of South Africa, leaders in legal education.
Every great business starts with a problem, one you may have experienced yourself. Nedbank Business Ignite 2026 is looking for entrepreneurs who've turned that pain into purpose and built solutions that truly make a difference. So if your business is generating between 1 million and 20 million Rand, you could get the funding, mentorship and support you need to grow with Nedbank as your partner, plus access to Simply Biz to help you scale sustainably. So if you're solving real problems, ready to take your business further, visit igniteyourbusiness.co.za or primemediaplus.com and enter today.
Breaking news. Motorists are bracing themselves for even more fuel price hikes in June.
Or prepare differently. BYD hybrid vehicles use up to 70% less fuel than normal cars. And BYD fully electric vehicles, no fuel at all. Test drive the brand new BYD Atto 2 DMI plug-in hybrid this June and kiss rising fuel prices goodbye forever. Visit byd.coza or your nearest dealership. BYD, build your dreams.
You hear that? That's the sound of business execution finally visible. No more chasing people and reports, no more disconnected systems, no more guessing if our business is performing or not. iStratGo connects strategy, people, performance, and day-to-day work into one clear software platform, so leaders can see what's working, what's not, and where to focus. Because when execution is visible, everything runs better. Book a demo on istratgo.com. ISTRATGO.com.
702
702. What's gone viral?
with Kabazela.
All right, let's catch up with the world of viral content. Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Bella.
We'll always honor a school. We'll never falter nor fail. All right, let's talk assembly songs from school.
Yeah, was that your assembly school song?
It was actually
from
our school
primary
song,
or
yes.
from
It was
primary
our
school
song. Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Can you remember your high school
That's the high school song I'm singing.
Oh, was that the high school one?
What little of it I do remember.
Yeah, I mean, if you think back to those days, assembly, right? You had to sing. And you either sung the school song or you had to sing, I think it was religious songs, if I can, cast my mind back. And you would either have, you remember, there would either be those people that sung, they would sing their hearts out, and there would be those people that were like, their mouths wouldn't even move. They would just stand there or pretend that they were singing, right? So this guy posted a video on TikTok about, acting hard when the school song came on or you had to sing in assembly. So I thought it would be a nice one to take us back to those days. Can you remember what songs you used to sing in assembly? And maybe you can still recite them. And what was your school anthem song? Now, I'm trying for the life of me to think back to high school, and I cannot remember singing anything at high school. I'm sure we did, but I'm pulling blanks
You
here.
probably remember Shaboom, all those songs, right? Now, I remember our school song. We'll always honor our school. We'll never falter nor fail. We will always strive to do. Oh gosh, no, it's gone. It's gone. All right,
Yeah.
What songs were you singing in assembly, and can you still sing them? Sing them on 072 702 1702. That's what's gone viral with Kabazela.
702
702. Feedback.
with Siamtanda Matiso.
Samtanda Matiso, do you remember your high school song?
I don't think we had a high school song. We just did praise and worship. And I just remember we had a teacher called Mrs. Mnyandlu who conducted the choir. And her favorite song was Somebody Say Somandla Ikoni Mfuyo. And that's the only song I can remember.
I just love the vi-fi that comes
I just am imitating
Bonga.
her.
You see the piano in the background.
And and that was her favorite song. So that's the only thing I can remember. But many are mentioning their best sporting moments, the ones that left them speechless, in tears. They mentioned the victory between Manchester winning against Bayern Munich in 1999. Tepiso on YouTube was reminded by Jabu Pule's unforgettable performance for Kaizer Chiefs against Jomo Cosmo for the Coca-Cola cup. I didn't know that you guys had a Coca-Cola cup. Where did that go?
I love how the non-football person is trying to remember all
Oh,
of
really?
these things. What was a Coca-Cola cup?
What was
she
the
says?
Coca-Cola cup?
Wow.
I just learned about the Premier League just now. But also, Bongs, on a serious note, others reacting on the March and March and the preparedness of law enforcement. Many struck by the amount that will be spent on it, but you explained it quite well. There's a lot that has to go into it when it comes.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who's had to fill up a tank will
Yeah.
know how much it costs. Now imagine those big hippos and those big vehicles that the police use, quite apart from the normal vans. Just think about the fuel costs of all of that, right? Think about the fact that the logistics mean the police are not going to arrive at 9 o'clock in the morning, right? They'll probably be there overnight, watching things, making sure all of the resources, moving personnel and equipment and transport, all of that costs money.
Exactly. And that guy commented on YouTube saying maybe that 600 million could have been paid to help with immigration law officers.
It could have.
Yeah.
It could have. But now we're here. And the same people who are going to be marching with the Aknupkiris are going to be complaining about crime back in their communities. But guess what? Monies have now been diverted to go deal with this kind of problem. All right, more of your reactions. And we had promised you an interview with Professor Richard Calland, who is in London. And I think there was a misunderstanding in terms of time. We said 6:50. He thought UK time.
Yeah.
We very clearly meant South African time. But he's graciously agreed to join us after this EWN.
This is EWN.
Police still haven't found the suspected hijackers involved in armed confrontation with officers in Bryanston, and a warning for Joburgers to be cautious on the roads due to poor visibility. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Gauteng police are searching for 4 people who escaped after a dramatic chase ended in a shooting at a shopping centre in Bryanston. One suspect was arrested yesterday when officers tracked down a hijacked car that was reported stolen in Norwood. The car was received and signal jammers believed to have been used by the suspects were also found. Mongezi Koko reports.
The Haval H6 was reported hijacked at the Norwood police station, prompting an alert to law enforcement agencies. Highway patrol members later spotted the vehicle on the N1 highway and gave chase. The pursuit came to an end at the Winifred Mandela Precinct Shopping Centre, where officers attempted to arrest the occupants. 5 suspects jumped out of the vehicle and fled in different directions. Police opened fire during the chaotic scene and managed to apprehend one of the men while the others escaped. Gauteng Police spokesperson Dimakatso Nebuhurui.
And about 5 occupants came out and fled on foot on different directions. The police managed to arrest one of the suspects.
Police say efforts to track down the 4 remaining suspects are continuing. Mongezi Koko, Eyewitness News, Sandton.
The South African Weather Service is warning that thick fog in Johannesburg is expected to last well into the afternoon. Motorists are being urged to drive cautiously due to reduced visibility. Forecaster Litlokhonolo Tobela says conditions will gradually improve throughout the day.
In our weather for today, morning fog patches are expected to last for the central and the eastern parts of the country. If you'll be in Gauteng, be aware of these conditions, as foggy conditions may reduce visibility to less than a kilometer. And as you drive out, make sure that your headlights are working and keep a safe following distance on the roads.
Defense Minister Angie Motshekga says current intelligence assessments do not indicate any imminent threats of widespread unrest during planned protests against undocumented foreigners. 30 June is a date set by groups including March and March for migrants without documents to leave South Africa. Soldiers are on standby as a precautionary measure. Motshekga and Police Minister Firoz Kachalia briefed media in Johannesburg yesterday on the security cluster's readiness for next Tuesday. Koskona Malingamnisi reports.
The security cluster's plan to maintain peace and stability on June 30 involves multiple government departments and law enforcement agencies. For now, the SANDF remains on standby to support police should any violence erupt, as Defence Minister Angie Motshekga explains.
There is a need for us as a defence force, as a contingency measure in case things just go out of hand.
The security operation is costing the state more than 600 million rand. Further planning meetings are underway ahead of the day. Khona Malingamnisi, Eyewitness News.
And Iran's chief negotiator Mohammad Bagher Khalibaf says that the Strait of Hormuz will be administered by Tehran following talks pushing to end the US-Israeli war on the Islamic Republic. Iran and the United States have agreed to set up communication lines to keep the vital shipping route open and end fighting in Lebanon. In a video posted to Khalibaf's Telegram account, he says that the talks at the luxury Swiss resort are achieving good results. The United States has temporarily suspended sanctions on Iranian oil after Vice President J.D. Vance said that Tehran would allow UN nuclear inspectors to return to the country following the talks. U.S. President Donald Trump says he's pleased with the progress.
We're doing very well in terms of negotiating a fair and reasonable deal. One of the things that we are doing also, and it came up last night, is money that's being unfrozen is going to be used to buy food, and the food's going to be bought exclusively through the United States from our farmers.
Gold is trading at $4,138.57 an ounce. The rand is at 16.44 to the dollar, 21.77 to the pound, 18.78 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $77.53 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy traffic volumes along the Sandton CBD. Most of the roads are heavily backed up due to foggy and misty conditions. If you are traveling within the Sandton CBD, do remember to keep your headlights on, drive a bit slower than usual, and please be patient.
And in your sport, the race for the World Cup Golden Boot heats up as Messi, Mbappe and Haaland all score twice to ensure Argentina, France and Norway are through to the knockouts. At the Women's T20 Cricket World Cup, defending champions New Zealand still haven't won. They take on Scotland this morning. And in rugby, England have rested captain Maro Itaje for the Nations Championship against the Springboks.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 17 and 20 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Gauteng police are searching for 4 people who escaped after a dramatic chase ended in a shooting at a shopping centre in Bryanston.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
We're calling on Joburg to walk the inner city with us. In 702 Josie My Josie, walk the talk. Babize bonke. Enter now on primemediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Walking the talk indeed. All high alert, I suppose. It's all high alert between now and the 30th of June, because I don't think things could go wrong only on the 30th. The aftermath is certainly going to be a period we'll watch out for, and the build-up to then. We spoke earlier to the police. 600 million rand diverted to make sure all of this is taken care of. Does that give you confidence, assurances we won't see a repeat of what we experienced in July 5 years ago? Kabazela wants to know, those songs you sang at Assembly, Amo, do you remember them?
I do remember those songs. The one we sang in our primary school, and it's adopted from a very prominent song that a lot of people sing for different reasons. And it says, we used to say Ipulukeng, Aretsamayeng, Batlasala Babuzana. It's one. I won't sing it because you know my voice.
Were you one of those who sang at the top of your voice, even though you didn't quite have the voice?
Of course. I mean, like...
I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see
why
that.
not? Nothing
Mateo,
would burst my bubble.
remember your school song?
I think only the high school one. I don't quite remember.
The primary school one?
Yeah, that's become a distant memory. Jeez, I'm aging, man. Yeah.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
A little earlier on, of course, we promised you an interview with Professor Richard Calland, who is in the UK. This is about the exit of yet another British Prime Minister from Downing Street. I think the 6th in a decade. You have to ask, is number 10 a haunted house? He was in office, was Keir Starmer, just shy of 2 years, but had been clinging to power in recent months following a tenure you might say was marred by policy missteps, U-turns, cabinet resignations. Enter Andy Berman, the mayor of Greater Manchester, who was set to challenge for the leadership of the Labour Party, whose rules, of course, require that it be led by a member of Parliament. Berman won a seat in the House for the House of Commons, a seat that was meant to be quite a contest, but in the end proved to be all too easy. And I think Starmer saw the writing on the wall, and so with his voice cracking, he announced his resignation yesterday. Richard Calland joins us now on the line. Richard, thank you for your time. You know Keir Starmer personally. How do you reflect on his departure?
Bongani, good morning. Yes, I think obviously for him, it is a moment of great disappointment. It's a moment, you can't avoid the word, of failure. Having known him much earlier in his career at law school and around that time, I reflect on him as a man of decency, with values and principles, but unfortunately lacking a political program and the political wit to cope with the demands of high office. I think he was a very effective human rights lawyer in his day, and he was director of the British National Director of Public Prosecutions, the NDPP, as we call it in South Africa. And he was effective there. But I think Prime Minister requires a different skill set, and he lacked a strategic anchor. So he's been buffeted this way and that way over the last 2 years, and unfortunately, his record will therefore be obliterated. Anything he's achieved in that time will not be remembered.
Yeah, I mean, we call him Sir because, of course, he was knighted for his contribution as a human rights lawyer. He was defending prisoners on death row in various parts of the world. But politically, that's what we will remember about his legacy. He inherited a party that had suffered its worst defeat in 2020. Since 1935, he reversed that in a landslide victory against Rishi Sunak 2 years ago. But was he a man without a plan?
Yes, and I think the election result 2 years ago probably flattered him. He, as you've mentioned, this will be Britain's 7th Prime Minister in 10 years when the new one comes in, Andy Burnham, presumably. And that doesn't reflect well on the country at all. It reflects badly on its politics and its political system. As Tony Blair put it yesterday, this is not a serious country if you're changing your Prime Minister that many times. And I think that the Labour Party should have stuck with him, despite his difficulties in managing high office. I don't think any replacement is going to be a huge improvement. Maybe Burnham will be better at communicating with the public and connecting with the public. I met some voters last week in Cambridge, and they basically said to me, and they use this expression, Bongani, they say, Starmer talks down to me or talks down to us. And unfortunately for a Labour Party leader, that's not the right look, is it?
One of the things I find fascinating about politics is those parties that try to hold the center. I think Bill Clinton and Tony Blair famously called it the third way. I think Starmer tried a little of that, but some will now say he was in fact just Tory light.
Well, in his resignation speech yesterday, curiously and ironically, he probably put forward the most coherent defence of his achievements since he came to power 2 years ago. And that record is one of steady, gradualist kind of improvement. I suspect in this age of get rich quick, of immediacy, the zeitgeist of social media, I guess that wasn't enough. And we'll never know whether it would have been the platform for significant further reforms. The bottom line is, however, going back to your question about the election, he won a massive majority. I think it flattered to deceive him. I think Britain at that point just wanted a steady Eddie in power after all of the shenanigans of the previous Tory prime ministers. Starmer was that steady Eddie, and that was a good look then. Unfortunately, he hasn't been able to communicate his progress in office. He hasn't been able to narrate the modest achievements of his first 2 years in office.
But there was also a difficult side to him, looking from afar, of course. I mean, his record on Gaza, for example, would be a black mark, I would think. And there was almost an authoritarian way in which his government brooked no dissent on that particular issue. He was also, of course, quite ruthless in dealing with his predecessor. He hounded Jeremy Corbyn out of the party. In fact, even in that resignation speech, he was still taking veiled swipes at him.
Yes, well, I'm my own views on Gaza and Israel would tell me that Starmer failed to lead on that. He failed to stand up to genocide. He failed to stand up to Israel, and I think part of that was the fact that he was dealing with a Jeremy Corbyn legacy of anti-Semitism within the Labour Party, and I think that affected his judgment on this issue.
So, who is Andy Burnham? How should we in South Africa look at him? How much will Britain change under his leadership should he be elected?
Well, Burnham has a longer political track record than might meet the eye. He's just come back into the House of Commons, but he was an MP for several years before. He has some limited experience of government, but his main, I think, claim to fame or his job description would be, and his appropriateness for high office would be to say that he's been the mayor of a major city, namely Manchester. And by most accounts, he's been a decent mayor. He's run that city well and successfully. Whether that's enough to justify the big leap up to being prime minister, we'll have to wait and see. As someone once put to me, the oxygen is very thin at the top of government, of any major government, and he may struggle to breathe up there. It's a big step up from being a mayor of a city to being the prime minister of Britain.
Richard Calland, Emeritus Associate Professor in Public Law at UCT. Perhaps my parting shot will be 7 prime ministers now in a decade, and the sky did not fall, hey? Do countries like the UK get a different standard, do you think? Imagine the hullabaloo if that had happened here in South Africa.
EWN Traffic.
8:15, the CWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask them for 500 Rand. This fog, people have been sending us texts and voice notes.
Yeah.
They were talking parts of Ekurhuleni earlier, and now it's in Sandton.
It is in Sandton at this moment, Bongani. Motorists are being warned to just, increase their visibility by switching their headlights on. Drive a bit slower than usual. Please be patient on the routes and expect or extend your traveling time. As a result, we're seeing delays along Grayston Drive, Sandton Drive, along with Catherine Street. Then, if you are traveling in the city of Tshwane, an accident along the N14 East, it happened right after the R55. It's still causing delays. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Seeing the Outsurance pointsman on your route is like the feeling you get when you hear your child's name at prize giving. It just makes you feel good. The Outsurance pointsmen are traffic heroes who ease congestion, helping everyone get to where they need to be quickly and safely, and they've done it for 20 years. Just another way you always get something out, in proud partnership with 702. Show them some love online. The hashtag is PointsmanLove. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Catch the Springboks live at Ellis Park Stadium this year. Lions fans, get ready. Secure your all-inclusive Lions membership package to watch the Springboks versus England and the All Blacks. Or from just 950 Rand, get your Lions-only package and unlock access to every Lions match at Ellis Park. All packages include the massive clash between the Lions and the All Blacks this August. Memberships are available now at Ticket Pro or through our stadium ticket office. Visit lionsrugby.co.za for package options. Own the season and get behind your team.
The Global Entrepreneurship Congress Africa returns to Cape Town from 16 to 17 September 2026. The continent's largest Pan-African platform brings together investors, policymakers, and entrepreneurs. GEC Plus Africa is powered by African Bank in partnership with the Western Cape Government, Microsoft, Amazon, Telkom, 22 on Sloan, and more. Register on gecafrica.co. GEC Plus Africa. Connecting Africa.
Not every change feels like a choice. Some arrive as disruption. Shift Happens with Richard Sutton is a podcast about those moments where life moves first and you have to catch up. When certainty disappears, direction blurs, and everything familiar starts to shift. You'll hear stories from people who faced change, doubt, and pressure and found a way forward. Their stories give us confidence. Living vicariously through their experience gives us hope, and we learn from their journeys. Because what feels like an ending is often the beginning of something else. Shift Happens weekly on PrimeMediaPlus.com, the Prime Media Plus app, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Powered by First Light, therapeutics for the modern mind.
Every small business that dares to disrupt the industry deserves a shot at leveling up. Thanks to Nedbank Business Ignite on 702.
Well, this year's Nedbank Business Ignite with 702, we've been recognizing and rewarding small businesses that are solving real problems because they've lived them. We're talking about businesses built from real experience where challenges have been turned into meaningful solutions. And we've been asking these businesses to enter the Nedbank Business Ignite on 702 to stand a chance to win 200,000 Rand in cash, mentorship, national exposure, and support beyond banking with Simply Biz. As always, to guide us through all of this, Thuli Makubane, the founder and director of Mint Fresh Technology Solutions, our business mentor. Thuli, a very good morning to you. Today we've got Green BDG Africa. Tell me about what they do. They're in the ESG space, yeah?
Yes. Good morning, Bongani. Good morning to the listeners. So today's finalist is Songo Didiza, one of the co-founders of Green BDG Africa. And they started off in consulting, so assisting companies to get their ESG in order. And for those who are not familiar with ESG, it's environmental, social, and governance. And especially if you're a listed company, you know that it's a top agenda for the company. So everything they do and decisions that they make need to align with their ESG policy and strategy. So this is where they started, but with technology, they realized that a lot of companies would have spreadsheets, and it would take them long to put the information together and to be able to report, and on top of that, to be able to gain insights from the information. So
because of course you can't keep up with real life changes, particularly if you're collecting your data manually.
Yes.
Your reporting periods are periodic. You need instant access to real-time data to be able to make the decisions
Yes.
you need to make. That's an absolutely
So
brilliant.
that's where technology comes in. So they designed a platform. It also uses AI in the background to be able to gather the data and to derive insights.
So, Songo, you were sitting there one day and you thought, surely there's a better way to do this. Was that the problem you faced? I'm going to ask you just to come a little closer to the mic. Yeah, there we go.
Good morning, Bongani.
Yeah, good morning.
And
Go
good
ahead.
morning to your listeners. To your point, I think it started a little bit earlier than that. It actually started during COVID, when our own business had to go through its own pivot, where we had to, we can't go into offices anymore and do the day-to-day consulting that we used to do. We had to actually pivot and look at technology, digital solutions in terms of how we can actually innovate and be able to
Right,
deliver the
because
services
consulting
to our
requires
customers.
you to be able to see what the business is doing, a hands-on approach, not that easy to do from home.
Well,
in some ways.
I think one of the benefits now is that actually spend more time at home than before.
You should know what I mean in terms of your need to pivot based on what you'd been doing before COVID. COVID comes along, can't quite do the same. Let's do something else.
Absolutely.
Right. Tell me about your solution.
Well, our solution, Green Bridge Africa's ESG platform, what it does, it automates the process. Obviously, we can't automate 100%. There are certain areas and aspects of the reporting process that would still require human intervention.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say confident that 70% of the ESG reporting is now fully automated.
So, I mean, just talk to me about being this, AI-enabled ESG intelligence company. It all sounds fancy, but for somebody outside of your space, what does it actually mean?
Absolutely. Look, we don't start with the technology. We don't lead with the technology, I always say. We always sit with the clients first. We get to know the business environment, the complexity, nature of infrastructure that needs to be on board on the platform, where the business is, because we really view it as a journey. And really the intelligence is us being able to use the technology, combination with the consulting, advisory services, and then really be able to walk the client, throughout the entire process.
All right, so you service clients across various sectors, be it the public sector or even real estate. What would you do for a client in real estate, for example?
Real estate, manufacturing clusters, industrial clusters. And what we're doing, Bongani, is that we're actually helping them reduce their carbon footprint. Give you maybe for context, we've helped companies reduce over 250,000 metric tons of carbon.
Oh, wow.
So for context, is basically saying removing about 50,000 passenger vehicles off the roads over a 12-month period since inception.
Going green. I mean, it's apt. It's Nedbank, Business Ignite. We're going green.
Most definitely. And
tick all the boxes, Julie.
and very much solving a problem. It may not be a personal problem, but a problem that a lot of companies actually face. And I think just also wanted to highlight to our listeners that if you visit our igniteyourbusiness.co.za, we are actually showcasing our finalists. So if you've missed out on any, you can go there, read up on their stories. But also we have a directory. So every company that's actually entered the competition is on the directory. So if you're looking for a small business that you want to support, go through there. You might find your next service provider.
And entries are closing fast. So if you haven't entered,
soon,
you
definitely.
still can. There's a little window left. Nedbank Business Ignite on 702.
702, The World View.
With Adam Gilchrist.
Adam returns, and welcome back, Adam. Let's start in Myanmar. We know, of course, the military junta has been in charge there, but my goodness, what has been going on the inside is worse than perhaps many would have feared.
Absolutely, yeah. The coup 5 years ago, it obviously hasn't settled things at all, with the military taking charge and still in control and carrying out a range of atrocities, according to this UN report. They say there are credible sources verified that show over 700 people killed in a 6-month period last year. That's when elections were announced, the 6-month election period, except that most opposition parties and plenty of outsiders said they were a sham and hardly a part of democracy at all. And in that 6-month period, 220 women killed, 150 children, overall 702 people lost their lives, including atrocities, awful incidents. A bomb left outside a school. At one stage, a military plane dropped explosives on a tea party. I remember us talking about balloons floating over high street markets and dropping explosives on top of people. The United Nations is not just saying, isn't it awful? They're also saying there's been a decline in international assistance. So I guess if we're honest, maybe Myanmar has become a forgotten, even ignored horror show. And maybe, we just need to sort of pinch ourselves and remind ourselves this is a country in turmoil.
Talking about turmoil, the 7th PM in a decade now, Adam?
Yeah, it will be. Absolutely, yes. And now we know that Boris Johnson has resigned. Yeah, a couple of things happened while I was on my holiday. The World Cup started, didn't see that coming. And a Prime Minister resigned.
Keir Starmer, you mean?
Coming. Or,
you said Boris Johnson.
We saw both coming, didn't we? Yes. Where are we now, though? So you probably couldn't name all the UK Prime Ministers because they've become so thick and fast. Ultimately, looking at it, David Cameron, Theresa May, Boris Johnson, Liz Truss, Rishi Sunak, Keir Starmer, and probably Andy Burnham, not yet an international figure, but still, that's 7 in 10 years. That's a lot of prime ministers. So we used to call the England football manager's job the impossible job. Has the UK prime minister's job become impossible? That's a lot of different prime ministers, all of them really ultimately ousted by their own parties. I mean, I know you can argue that election results have gone badly for some of them, but overall, mostly they got stabbed in the back by their own comrades, their own colleagues. And certainly that's true of Keir Starmer, to make way for a guy who probably will go the same way. Have world leaders become like football managers, entirely dispensable, doing almost impossible jobs? And the range of characters we've had in the UK, including strong, weak, charismatic, comedy, entertaining, full of integrity, honest. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Keir Starmer was, by all accounts, a lovely man, but just couldn't hack it in the top job. Is this true now for every country? Is it impossible to be a good bloke or a good woman and run a country?
I mean, I suspect King Charles might well catch up to his mother in terms of the number of prime ministers he's had to deal with at this rate, Adam.
Yes.
Now, there's poor taste, and then there's this ad.
Yeah, how stupid is this? After a crocodile attack where a 3-year-old boy was left in hospital, he still is in hospital, at least he's not in a critical condition anymore. He was apparently plonked in a croc enclosure by a passing stranger with mental health issues. So, I mean, apart from that whole story, immediately after this 3-year-old lad fighting for his life in hospital, along came a discount website in the UK called Woucher, who decided they would put out a marketing email with this headline: Snap up these deals quicker than a croc can catch a kid. Screenshot shared across social media, general outrage. How stupid was that? Okay, so Woucher has since apologized. It says it was never approved for use. They're reviewing their processes, blah, blah, blah. But whatever moron put that out in the first place, when a child is in hospital, you got to wonder.
Indeed. Adam Gilchrist with this morning's Worldview.
EWN Business.
One of the most powerful central bankers of recent times, Muteo, has bowed out after 100. What an innings.
Yeah, what an innings. Ellen Greenspan probably dying from complications of Parkinson's disease. The Economist was the U.S. Federal Reserve Chair, reigning for about 19 years, from 1987 to 2006, and was celebrated as the maestro and wizard for his oversight of a generally booming U.S. economy. When the two planes flew into the World Trade Center in New York City on September 11 in 2001, the world was thrown into chaos and the U.S. economy was also hit. Greenspan responded by lowering the key interest rate from 6 to 1%. Such low level rate had not been seen in the United States for 46 years. It worked for the U.S., with the American economy picking up again, and markets also surging more than a third between 2002 and early 2004. But it was the low rates and aggressive deregulation from Alan Greenspan of the finance sector that would tarnish his image. Because of those low rates, banks gave risky home loans to people who couldn't afford them and also bundled those loans into complex investments, selling them around the world, causing the global market crash of 2008. So, although remembered for his work as the governor of the US Fed, but also remembered for that deregulation that eventually caused the 2008 crash.
I just like the 1% rate.
Wouldn't
wonder
we
if
be
anyone
lucky?
in Pretoria might be listening. Where's the rand?
16 Rand 45 against the US dollar, reeling this morning in the red at 18 Rand 79 against the euro, 21 Rand 78 cents against the British pound. Price of gold also down 1.7% this morning, $4,116 an ounce, while platinum was down 2% at $1,643. Brent crude going lower by more than 1%, now at $76 a barrel. That's your morning business. Stephen Grotes with more this afternoon.
Time for the latest eyewitness news. And this next half hour, we chill with Zakes Bantwini. Sfisa Zulu, what do you have?
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Joburg Metro police officers have been placed on standby across the city as fog and poor visibility create hazardous driving conditions. The city has been gripped by bitterly cold weather over the past few days. Traffic authorities have warned that visibility can deteriorate within seconds, increasing danger of serious collisions and multiple vehicle pileups. JMPD spokesperson Xolani Fihla.
As a motorist, reduce your vehicle speed, give yourself more time to react to unexpected hazards, brake lights or stationary vehicles ahead. Ensure that your headlights and rear fog lights are on so that other drivers can see you, and increase your following distance. Double or triple your standard 3-second stopping gap to account for low visibility and potentially damp road surfaces.
Limpopo police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the discovery of 23 young people in a suspected human trafficking case. The women and men aged between 19 and 23 were found at a house in Seshego yesterday following a tip-off. The group told authorities they were housed there by a man who had recruited them under the guise of selling insurance. Mongezi Koko reports.
Police arrested a man yesterday after receiving information about alleged suspicious activities at the house. Preliminary investigations reveal that the young men and women came from several provinces, including Limpopo, Gauteng, Mpumalanga, and KwaZulu-Natal. A foreign national believed to be renting the house was also found on the premises and will be processed by Home Affairs immigration officials. Police are now gathering evidence to determine the full circumstances surrounding the case. Mongezi Koko, Eyewitness News.
Opposition parties are geared up for the November local government elections, with the MK Party and EFF making key changes to their campaign teams. The EFF has announced the appointments of new election spokespersons, while the MK Party has established task teams to lead the party's campaign. Babalondense takes a look.
The MK Party said its preparations for the upcoming local government elections are progressing at full speed. The party says it will be working through the party's regional and provincial elections task team with the release of an official nominations framework and elections guideline. The party, which is contesting its first local government elections, says this marks a significant milestone in its elections readiness program. The EFF, meanwhile, announced the appointment of Thembi Msane and MP Sixolise Cilishe as election spokespersons as it intensifies its preparations. Action SA says these elections must also mark the rise of a new generation of leadership and wants to see young people stepping forward to occupy spaces of leadership in their communities and contesting the elections. Babalondense, Eyewitness News.
And 2 children have been found dead in a car in France as authorities believe these are casualties of a heat wave. The youngsters aged 2 and 4 were found in their family car yesterday at a residential parking lot in the southern town of Carpentras. Emergency services found the children in cardiac arrest after receiving a call in the afternoon. They also tended to the children's mother, who has not yet been questioned. The latest heat wave to hit Europe has seen outdoor events cancelled, transport disrupted, schools shut, and office workers told to work from home as authorities issue health alerts to protect the elderly and vulnerable. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures will peak at highs between 17 and 20 degrees.
And in the traffic, as you heard on Eyewitness News, we still have fog patches across Joburg this morning. Please be on the lookout if you're traveling. Keep your headlights on, extend your traveling time, and please be patient. If you're traveling currently in Boksburg, we've got delays on the N17 West. This is between the R21 and Osborne Road. Roadworks are causing these delays. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 North between Malibongwe Drive and Rivonia Road.
The top story this hour, Joburg Metro police officers have been placed on standby across the city as fog and poor visibility create hazardous driving conditions.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays,
12 to 1.
What should be happening behind the scenes in anticipation?
My main attention would be to talk to these people organizing these marches. I've heard the organizers last week and the week before constantly saying, oh no, we will not use violence, we will just march, and there is this deadline and they must now leave. I would talk to them and warn them about the dangers so that they can get marshals to control those crowds.
Dr. Chris de Kock.
The Midday Report.
With Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
If you've got a small dog, well, you'll know the big lives they live. But did you know that smaller dogs have unique needs and can benefit from eating a food especially tailored to their needs? And that's why Hills Pet Nutrition has developed expert, science-backed nutrition to help small dogs live their best lives. Whether for the overall well-being or to address a specific health issue, there is a Hills food for your dog. Hills is available at your vet, your pet specialty store, or online. Hills Pet Nutrition. Science does more.
Keep moving through 6 a.m. call times, the rain, dirt tracks, and moving through tight deadlines. Because you move with purpose, from the first stop to the final drop. The Hino 700 truck tractor comes standard with a 6-year drivetrain warranty and advanced safety features tailored to your industry. The Hino 700 is built to fuel your business's progress. Hino, all the way.
Let's hear from Susan, owner of Leopard Song Manor, why it pays to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance.
We were with our previous insurer for 13 years. Switching made me aware of things that we weren't covered for. It was a quick process. I saved a lot of money.
For boutique hotels, catering companies, and all other businesses, get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bongani and the team. This is actually my first time reaching out, although I'm an avid listener each morning. Thank you so much for the lovely show. So I attended Umtata High School, and our school song is Super Omnia Veritas. So that is a Latin-rooted song meaning the truth above all things. I sing it almost weekly. 2 homes among the mountains, 2 homes besides the sea.
I refuse to say my name because my singing is bad. Monjo High School, in our hearts in one accord, in our hearts in one accord. Monjo High School, we applaud.
Hey, Bongs and Kabazela. Now this one, Rifitle Primary School, I don't remember anything. I know there was a lot of Our Father, Sarafina vibes. Begarai Primary School, I don't remember anything, just religious fun songs. African Semesters World School, I don't remember a thing, just African sports songs, athletic songs. Then Ellen Sport World School, oh my goodness, that felt like we were in some Hitler horror movie. Meneer de Beer, I don't remember the school anthem, but this song, Kom loof die Heer, that's his voice. Al die nachten van die Heer, wat smaaks in die huis, van die Heere stom. Guys, that time I knew that religion and I are not best buddies. That was torture.
Brandpunt van 'n bos en lewe staan jou bakken hoog en wit. Laat gooi af volle was kom met de mens en volks te dien. Serviendo prodiamus, dis een skoolse ideaal.
Ikanana, Ikanana, Ikanana.
Bongani, good morning. I remember back in high school, we were forever asked to sing, go assembly. And guess what? Lebeso Khobela was in the same school. And there we thought we were using her because she was always forever singing. Look at her today. Look at her today. Wow, every time I listen to her music, I'm like, I remember so vividly that we used to always look around and look for Lebeso Khobela so that she could start a song and sing. Wow. Beautiful memories. Beautiful memories.
And on to greatness, right? On to greatness. So we've heard from Tatahai, Mondio. I love hearing from those first-time callers who've been listening, of course, for a long time. Keep them coming. Kawazela wants to know, do you remember your school song, your high school song, and the songs you sang at assembly?
EWN Sport.
Cindy, were you one of those who used to not sing aloud? In other words, used to mime the words to the songs.
No, you just sing because everyone's singing. But we didn't have a high school song.
Yeah?
We had a junior school song. We didn't have a high school song. It was weird.
Or maybe you just forgot. You sure?
No, I think they tried. They tried to make one,
Yeah.
and they tried to launch it, and we were all like,
Nah.
no, because my high school was still new-ish when I went there. I think
okay.
my brother's year was maybe like the second year or third year of grade 8s that were going through that school. So it was very new. But the junior school one, yeah, we sang that, and I mean we had we always had to sing the national anthem once a week or twice a week. We always had to sing hymns and the Our Father.
Church hymns, yeah.
The Our Father was
Yes, of
always,
course.
right?
Who art in heaven.
Yeah.
Well-
So our junior school song, it went something like, I went to Wendywood Primary, and it went something along the lines of like, whether in the classroom or on the field of sport, we do our best for Wendywood, we never will fall short. Something like that. Our aims, it sounds like a Red Row or a Marmite ad, right? Our aims are of the highest, and we will never rest until we worked our hardest to make our school the best, to make our school the best. And then our school had the motto underneath, because always Latin, right? It said Fidelis Sum, and then the chorus just went on about Fidelis Sum. I don't know what Fidelis Sum
I
means.
tell you what, somebody who's not falling short, who's always doing his best, Lionel Messi.
Absolutely. And if you missed it last night and you need a break from us singing, here's the moment Lionel Messi got another record.
Oh, yes, there it is. There it is. In terms of scoring in World Cup finals, you are looking at the greatest of all time.
Messi scored twice in Argentina's 2-0 win over Austria to take his World Cup goal tally to a record 18 now. Though he missed an opening penalty, Messi leads the Golden Boot standings, one ahead of Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland. Haaland scored twice in Norway's 3-2 win over Senegal. Mbappe also scored 2 in France's 3-0 win over Iraq. Mbappe is on 16 World Cup goals. France's game had a 2-hour-long half-time due to a torrential downpour. Le Bleu through to the knockouts with the defending champions Argentina and Norway, as well as Mexico, Germany and the USA. This morning, Algeria got their first win at a World Cup since 2014, coming from a goal down to beat Jordan 2-1. Jordan are out of the World Cup. Tonight, Portugal plays Uzbekistan at 7 p.m, followed by England against Ghana at 10. England captain Declan Rice.
We know as players that we have to build on the second half performance. We're coming up against Antoine Semenyo. We've watched 2 of their last games. Obviously, they had a manager change as well, so it's been a bit different. But we've prepared for them like we would prepare for any other team. You know, they're a real threat. They have really good players, and you know, if we're not on it or at 100%, we can be punished. So we know what's at stake, and for sure, you're going to see an England team that's thriving and ready to go again.
6 teams have confirmed their place in the knockouts. France, Argentina and Norway, joining Mexico, Germany and the USA. At the Women's T20 Cricket World Cup, there's 3 games today. The defending champions New Zealand have yet to win a match. They go into their 3rd game against Scotland. Ireland's playing Sri Lanka. The late game, Australia against Pakistan. South African fans, you want Pakistan to win this, as Australia are unbeaten in the Proteas group. And in rugby, England will rest captain Maro Itoje for the Nations Championship. Jamie George will lead the team with a match against the Boks on July the 4th. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
At 9:15, let's wrap up the morning's traffic. Amo, that fog, is it clearing?
It is clearing quite a bit, Bongani, and that's why we're seeing ease of traffic flow, especially within the Sandton CBD. Traveling on Grayston Drive, a slight backup coming out of the M1. There's also queuing traffic, but indeed a bit sluggish on Catherine Street approaching Grayston off-ramp. Then if you're traveling on the N12 West, we've got some issues approaching the Kilulis interchange. There's also queuing traffic reported on the N1 North between Malibongwe Drive and Winnie Mandela Drive. Peak time delays there. We'll have more updates at the top of the hour. Do stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and really all South Africans to walk the talk for a better South Africa. This Wednesday, 10 to 9, we're speaking to Food Lovers Market. Their Group Executive for People and Sustainability, Andrew Milson, will be with us in studio. We do this on Wednesdays to highlight efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. Let's walk the talk and together make a difference.
Joburg, it's time to show up for our city. On Sunday, 26 July, join thousands of Joburgers for the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk in proud partnership with Standard Bank. Walk through the heart of Johannesburg, celebrate its rich history, and experience the positive growth taking place in the CBD. As a committed partner, passionate about the growth of our city, Standard Bank invites you to be part of a movement that's helping build a safer, stronger, and spirited Josie for generations to come. Register now and take the walk that brings Johannesburg together. The 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, proudly partnered by Standard Bank.
Brush, stroke, paint, color, protect, and admire. From roof paint to exterior textures and interior silk, Warrior Paints has it all. The product range and stylish colors are amazing. And what's more, Warrior Paints has crushed prices for incredible savings. Enjoy that good old-fashioned personal service you deserve. For price, quality, variety, and service, Warrior Paints is streets ahead. Warrior Paints. Affordable, lasting luxury.
Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
Of course, the Clement Manyatela Show brings you a special broadcast, and it really is about highlighting the difference you can make by taking part in the Walk the Talk, the Josie My Josie Walk the Talk on the 26th of July. So Clement is in Hillbrow at the moment at the MES shelter and looking at the homelessness issue. Clement, a very good morning to you. What's on the show today?
Well, good morning, Bongani. So on the show today, we're going to be telling our listeners about how by taking part in the 702 Josie My Josie Walk the Talk, they can make a difference in the lives of the homeless in the city. We're right in the heart of the city of Johannesburg in Hillbrow, and we're going to be putting a spotlight on the homelessness in the inner city. As you know, MES is doing an incredible job. This is actually where we're broadcasting from one of the MES shelters here in Hillbrow. And what I want to ask the listeners this morning on the open line is, how do they engage with the homeless? Do you often give them money when you come across them? Do you help them out with food? And I'm asking this question because part of what we'll be discussing on the show today is the responsible way to help the homeless. So that's how we're going to start the show on the open line. And then we'll reflect on that interview that IDEC head, Andrea Johnson, finally gave to News 24. She's finally broken her silence on what's been happening at IDEC, between IDEC and the SAPS. So I'll play some clips from that interview, and I've got a few questions I want to ask the listeners because it's really quite concerning where things are between IDEC and the SAPS. At 9:30, we'll speak to Josie My Josie. They will tell us about the incredible work they've been doing in the inner city to try and revitalize it. We'll have someone from MES to tell us about the assistance they provide to the homeless. We'll be joined by someone from Zilto as well, who'll tell us about that responsible way of giving and how that can make a difference.
All right, the Clement Mangatela Show between 9 and 12.
That's Kefense before she got naked. Kefense's premium went up twice last year, and she was more confused than when her ex said, "I need to find myself," and then found somebody else. So Kefense got naked. She got comprehensive car insurance and a way lower premium in seconds on the Naked app. Good for you, Kefense. Get a car and home insurance quote now at naked.insure and see how much you can save when you get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
You know when your people are giving their best, not because they're pushed or pressured, but because they feel supported. And support is making sure they're covered. So if something happens, they can get the care they need. FlexiCare Health Insurance makes it simple for every business to protect their people with affordable health cover. You care, we cover. For a tailored FlexiCare quote, speak to your financial advisor today. FlexiCare is underwritten by ANG, a licensed non-life insurer and FSP, and administered by Discovery Health, a licensed FSP.
The Global Entrepreneurship Congress Africa returns to Cape Town from 16 to 17 September 2026. The continent's largest Pan-African platform brings together investors, policymakers, and entrepreneurs. GEC Plus Africa is powered by African Bank in partnership with the Western Cape Government, Microsoft, Amazon, Telkom, 22 on Sloan, and more. Register on gecafrica.co. GEC Plus Africa, connecting Africa.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
So if you're watching us on our YouTube page, you'll just see what's happening in the studio. But behind the scenes, the sausage is being cooked in the kitchen, in the producer's booth. And there's a dance-off happening there right now. Because, of course, as promised, the great Zakes Bantwini is with us in the studio. He's here to tell us about the Scatterlings Music Festival, which is going to be taking place at Huddle Park on the 1st of August. This is just in the Linksfield area. How does it feel to be introduced as the Grammy Award-winning Zakes Bantwini? Good morning.
Man, it feels great, man. It really does feel great. When you make music, and I think it's like exactly like an actor, you want to have an Oscar, you know?
Yeah.
When you are a musician, you want to have a Grammy.
I think that's most musicians would have been happy with, you know, the awards that are given out here in South Africa. I think the Grammy is sort of like the holy grail, right?
Yeah, it's like
but it's absolutely fantastic
like a halo,
that South African music broadly is so well appreciated and recognized for the excellence that it has. I mean, that must feel absolutely fantastic to be a part of that generation.
Yeah, it's like when we've been great. Always been, you know. I mean, the first great South African to win a Grammy, Miriam Makeba, that happened in 1964, I think, you know. And I mean, Hugh Masekela had a #1 Billboard song, which was there for a very long time.
Grazing in the grass.
Yes, and also the stories, you know, the South African music and the Lion King. How many South Africans are all over the world performing the Lion King theater production, you know? So we've always been great. We've always been great.
Listen, I don't have a Grammy, so I feel unqualified to argue with you, but I want to take you back to the 80s township music, what was called bubblegum music. And I think what's great about what we are hearing in terms of South African music now is that we've moved from beyond that kind of sound. I mean, the production quality that goes into the artists that produce music in South Africa today. It's just we've moved on to another level. So I think
I could also argue, Bongani, and say to you, the likes of Stimela, the likes of so many great
who was
South Africans who were
Paul Simon
doing,
working with?
Exactly, who were doing amazing music. We were just unable, or I'll say powers that be were just, and they were not willing to export our music. Maybe I would say that perhaps we're the ones that we've been waiting for.
Like, I don't have a Grammy, so I won't argue with you. Well, listen, you are headlining, of course, a powerful lineup. We've got people like Sjava performing, Sanel musician, Msaki is going to be there, Trezor. Tell us about the Scatterlings Music Festival.
Man, I think for me, I'm just happy that I contributed, because I think it's at the backdrop of the album that Jesse has put together in commemorating the music or what his dad did. So we got to reinterpret the music by the great Johnny Clark. So there was a contribution there, and I think maybe it culminated now into a festival. I think I'm just happy that one had to contribute and now made it onto the lineup. I cannot really speak about the organization of the show, because I'm not really part of it. What I'm there is a contributor.
You are the headliner.
Yeah. I'm a contributor and a headliner, but I'm just saying, like the whole integrities. But all I can tell you is I'm looking forward to it. I have new music, and I cannot wait to really just perform the song that I made of the late Johnny Clark.
Artists and musicians are often the conscience of a society. Certainly, Johnny Clegg played that role in his time, and this being a festival named after one of his biggest hits. South Africa finds itself at a very tricky place in terms of how we are viewed internationally, certainly in terms of how we are viewed on the continent. What does your music say? What do you have to say as a musician about where we find ourselves and how our music can maybe be part of that conversation?
I think it's cause for us to be conscious about, because you are how you are perceived. It may not be the truth, but how you are perceived, that how people treat you. Now South Africans are known as xenophobic, and even coining that word, I think it's kind of like unfair, but it has been perpetuated, and now it's gonna be said a lot, and it's gonna become the truth, of how South Africans are, which isn't true. And I think there's a responsibility not only for musicians, from the leaders and also the media also, of how do we, tell our stories and use the right words to really tell our stories. We have an issue of illegal immigration in South Africa, correct. Do we have an issue of xenophobia in South Africa? No, because each and every South African has a friend who is coming out of South Africa that they are engaging with. People have friends, people have barbers, people have so many people that are engaging with, who are coming from Africa, who are here in South Africa legally. And the issue is the issue of illegal immigration. But I think that our biggest problem in South Africa, the biggest problem is leadership. There's a vacuum of leadership in South Africa, so that's why societal groups are now leading themselves
into that breach.
That's our biggest problem.
Zakes Bantwini, I've got a few questions for you.
Yes.
As quickly as you can.
Yeah.
What comes to mind for you if I ask you this?
Yes.
Call or text?
Call.
Cooking in or ordering in?
Cooking. Cooking.
Cooking
Me,
or
cooking.
ordering in?
Hey, ordering.
Books or podcasts?
I'd say podcast.
What's harder for you, writing or performing?
Nothing is harder for me.
They're at the same level.
Yeah.
All right. If you weren't a musician, what else would you be doing?
I would be a songwriter or a speaker.
Stage performance or recording in the studio?
Both.
I choose.
Stage performance.
Stage.
Yeah.
With your people right there in front of you. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
Both. I wake up, I sleep for 4 or 5 hours.
And that's enough for you? 4 hours sleep every day?
Yeah.
Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Chiefs or Pirates?
Pirates, of course.
Good man. Good
what
man.
an easy answer.
Head or heart?
Head.
Head or heart?
Okay, I don't know. I would say heart.
Mind or passion?
Passion.
Zakes Bantwini, the Scatterlings Festival. He is the headliner. There'll be other great artists there. It's happening on the 1st of August at Huddle Park. The idea, of course, is to remember the contribution of the great Johnny Clegg. Jesse Clegg, the spearhead behind all of this. Zakes Bantwini, one of the fantastic artists who are going to be performing. Jay Something will be there. Zolani Mahola will be there. Msaki will be there. Jesse Clegg, as I say. Muzi. So many great artists. It's happening on the 1st of August. You can buy your tickets, of course, for the Scatterlings Festival. And you can do that at Web Tickets. And it's brought to you by 702 Nando's and 947. Time flies when you're having fun. The Clement Manyetela Show starts now.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. A new witness set to take the stand before the Matla Commission of Inquiry has submitted an application to testify in camera because of safety concerns. The inquiry has been hearing testimony reports.
The city of Ekurhuleni and its Metro Police Department have been drawn into a storm of controversy, with senior officials accused of facilitating criminal interference. WhatsApp messages between Medicare 24